Just waiting this August PCE print. There we go, 0.1%. So downside on the month-over-month basis. Again, monthly August PCE number 0.1% versus 0.2% expected there overall. 0.1 in line with expectations of a 0.1% print. 2.2 on the year-over-year versus 2.4. So here we go again, back to the downside for PCE. This has been the one, if you've been keeping score, that has been sticky, to say the least, and taking its time to get heading in the right direction. Good to see, again, year-over-year, 2.2% versus 2.4% on the August PCE final print. Coming up later this morning, 10 o'clock, we'll get that Michigan consumer sentiment number. There's also inflation data in that print as well. So yeah, back upside here, not only for Apple, but the overall market liking this. Not a huge move, 0.16 right now. Positive, though, for both the Nasdaq and the S&P 500 as we wrap up what's been a pretty positive week for the overall market. I was checking just before we came on here, more than a full percent for both the S&P and the Nasdaq here. Tech back in charge.
It was ridiculous yesterday to watch that sell-off after we made that 20,050 or 500. GDP also for Canada, Brendo, up 0.2%. Not a bad look there. Lots to talk about today, guys. Meta in focus again, getting a fine from Ireland, but also releasing more information on their augmented reality glasses. Reporters able to actually use those in real life. Intel with a couple of headlines. They're going to get their $8.5 billion by the end of the year, and they're also rejecting ARM. They're not really looking at doing any business with them in crypto. Right back up again, Brendo.
Yeah, some of these crypto-related stocks I saw top of the mover list that I look at here in the morning. There's a better look at the overall market. Back to green, as I mentioned, almost 491. Fabian, thank you. Almost 491 coming into play there for the Nasdaq. If you flip over to not SY, but SPY, you'll see basically the same thing. But yeah, if you're joining a little late there, downside we go for inflation. The PCE print just coming out 0.1% on the month-over-month number. Yearly print comes in 2.2 versus 2.4. So is inflation even an issue at this point, guys?
Nope.
Well, I'm checking my notes. That's actually
what say about inflation.
Well, it says that it's good news if inflation is coming under control.
Oh yeah, right. Is that what they told you in school there? Is that
that's
what
a
they
good
you?
thing.
Economics 101 over there. No, I think it just comes out as pretty much as expected. I mean, a little bit lower there. I mean, the market does seem like it wants to go here. I mean, we looked at this the other day, and I'll call it up in a minute because I don't have it right now. But the CME Fed rate tool, we looked at this yesterday on the market recap show, and it was 50-50. For 25 basis points or 50 basis points come the November meeting. We don't have one in October. We have to wait, skip a month, go into November, and see what I'm saying. So there it is. So there's where the number was. Goes up 30 or not even 25 handles, and now it's fading right back in. So yeah, I think it's stay the course. We know that with the Fed has our backs per se. We don't have to fight them anymore. It's a great print. I mean, I'm glad it came in line. Roughly a little higher, a little lower is fine by me. Just stay the course. And I think as long as nothing, dramatic comes out, then we have earnings 2 weeks today, starting with the banks. So 2 weeks today, the banks will come out and give us a look on, the health of that sector. XLF, I mean, these ETFs have been super fire. A little bit of a pullback now in some of the major banks. And so we'll just work through this all. But I think the market will probably just continue to stay the course. And as Brendan said, up 1% this week. Yeah. Nice move. Clear sales, I think.
We just got to dodge an SMCI bullet today. I mean, if you look at yesterday, it feel like it's a totally different day yesterday if not for that DOJ with SMCI story. Right, that stock tanked, and then pretty much everything just started rolling over. There were bounces at the end of the day, but by then it was almost too late. So, yeah, I think that's what you got to dodge today. I mean, the market's going to be, slightly to the upside, but I'm looking at across a host of things. And, Apple's actually challenging yesterday's high. That was a recovery. They came back pretty much all the way there. Looking over at Tesla here. Tesla had its own issues, but it was over 260. It's gapping higher, trying to get back above that key 257 level, which we love. So, look, clearly, it was not a good day for the longs in yesterday's trade. And finally, you get a little economic number, hopefully no bad news. I'm looking at you, Boeing. Hopefully no bad news, and you should be all good. The Chinese ADRs are all up again. Not as much as they were before, but they're all still trending higher. So there's plenty to look at. Bitcoin's over 65,000, Mara, Coinbase, so those are all looking very, very strong. So at the end of the day, I feel like we might have dodged a bit of a hiccup with SMCI yesterday, and you're getting some decent retracement, I should say.
So I just want to, whoa, my daily chart just fell again. Okay, I want to talk, hopefully this will load back up, but I want to talk about Win because I just want to show it to you on the daily chart because we were very, very close.
Winning.
That's funny. Ever since that never happens to me now, all of a sudden, when now all of a sudden this chart wants to crash. Okay, so I just wanted to show because I was listening to the radio and they were talking about casino stocks have made a nice move here, especially Win with Macau and all the Chinese bumps and things like that. So I'm actually going to exit, I think, my Win position. I'm going to look to see where we're in on it. But I remember looking at this thing when it was falling from graces like crazy over the summertime as, again, like, this is just a stimulus package for China. It's being stimulated because the economy is not the greatest over there. So that, to me, is not a recipe for great success for the actual underlying business of the casino. It's great for the stock. That's fine. But what will this actually do, bringing more customers into the space? I don't know. So I like this sort of the sell maybe on this, and then I still like the stock, but then maybe reload it a little bit back here. It's not a huge holding of mine, but I do know that I own some Win stock. Nelson, if you're watching, this is a name that we talked about during COVID, and I think it was $50 or $60 at that time. It hasn't moved up the way other COVID names have, but I just feel like this is a good opportunity right now to possibly get out. We talk about buying stocks at 200 period moving averages. I think it's something to say maybe about selling, and there's LVS as well. I just wanted to show you the difference between what that looks like as opposed to what Alibaba looks like, where you're going to see the 200 period moving average is right here. So, a Win is approaching that average. Baba used it as a springboard to get right back there to the upside. So I'll just fade one and go long the other. We're already long Alibaba, so let's just fade Win. But before I just say, let's look at LVS quickly. I want to see if it's the same setup because it wouldn't surprise me at all if it was something similar. I don't know where the 200 period moving average is on Las Vegas Sands, but yeah, okay, so you've beat that and you're into, again, another area right there. Las Vegas Sands, of course, has more property than just Macau, but a good move up right there for LVS. So anyways, Win would be the one that I'd be selling, and I think I will.
It's winning?
It's winning now, but I don't think it's going to be a long-term winner.
Yeah, crazy week right across the board. I was just looking at PDD as well. Some of the e-commerce names, as you mentioned, Baba leading the way. Back higher again today. That's Costco on a daily time frame. We are downside a little bit. A few notable earnings names coming through today as well. 890 looking like the place that needs to hold. Anyways, if it's going to be a good day here. Overall, it's a $900 stock. So, the reaction here kind of muted overall, but good quarter.
No, not bad at all, Brendo. Look, profitability at the end of the day is the most important thing, and they beat on the bottom line here. They printed $5.29 per share in profit, but they missed on the top line. Revenue fell short. Why is that? Well, consumers are being more selective with where they're spending, especially with big ticket items. These things like, what are they called? Appliances and stuff like that, Brendo. They're not really spending on that. But demand for groceries still very strong, and a lot of people are focusing, obviously, on stretching their buck, and that's where they're doing it.
One line I read in this that stood out to me was the digital side of things. They're still lagging. A few analysts had the same opinion of they're still lagging on the digital side of things, and I completely concur. I don't know if you've ever shopped on Costco's website, but it's absolutely terrible.
Is it?
It's not terrible. It's just, it looks like it's from 10 years ago. Like they haven't updated it in 10 years. So there's a lot of technology now that would make that go away very quickly.
Are you still using cart to get your Costco delivery? Yeah. Okay, nice.
But you still, even when you do that, you're still shopping on the Costco.
I gotcha. Okay.
But anyways. JP Morgan among a few here. D.A. Davidson, another one with positive notes this morning on COST.
So Costco, there's nothing wrong with them. That's all I'm going to say. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But look, at the end of the day, we were actually, I never hope for stocks to go down. I think sometimes when we talk about wanting opportunities to dip buy something, it's like, I don't want things to lose value that other people own, but I do want to scoop things up when they do potentially retrace. So Costco, why not just be headed for the 50-period moving average? Because I've been looking for opportunities to like get into this maybe dollar cost average or something like that in the 200-period moving average. For today, however, you just can't ignore this on the daily. You can't ignore a quadruple top on a daily chart, and it might lose support at the 890. Like, it's a very clean range up at that top. Like, there's your test of the high, that not above 920. There's your lower high, and it's kind of a double bottom at $890. It's like an over-under kind of level. If it can bounce from here, then the dip buyers are going to win in Costco because they always love it. And if it loses 890, it probably goes $20 to the downside. What I would say is this, though. If there is a stock with a spread like this, with volume like this, or maybe with a profile like this that I trade today, it should at least be SMCI. Because like, Costco's great, and it's a great long-term holding for everybody, but at least SMCI, if you catch a move, because the risk when the spread's like that, it's going to be bigger than normal, but at least with SMCI, the opportunity is going to be there for, I think, a really big move at some point today. I don't know that Costco is going to do that necessarily, but I do like them. I think it's a good dip buy opportunity at some point.
All right, Fabian, are you ready? Hey, look, man, why would you ever buy Costco when you could just buy Shiba Inu right here, up 15%? I thought my guy over there, Fabian, would be pretty excited about that one. You have Dogecoin in the last 24 hours, up a measly 8% right here. Yeah, no, I have like $300 of Shiba Inu coin. So, yeah, I mean, I could buy another pair of sunglasses maybe. But right there, no, I just wanted to say that right now, we'll see what's going on. We started the show off with a little bit of news there with crypto, holding that 65 and looking to get higher. Break through 66. You're almost at all-time highs again. So I just want to say Bitcoin, Ethereum now 1%. Binance, Solana up 2.5%. Dogecoin, everyone's favorite coin, of course. What's up, Elon? Are we accepting them for Teslas yet or what? 8% right now. Whatever Toncoin is up 1.2%. The best name ever, Cardano, up to 41 cents right now. But look at the 7-day run is more importantly. Shiba Inu, just 38% over the last week. I mean, it's not that bad. Everyone's favorite link, Chainlink, up 10. But as you look, man, just it's a nice little move up. We talked about the Nasdaq being up 1+% over the last week. Well, Bitcoin and the crypto universe right now up nicely. So as it goes, right? We talked about this yesterday with Fabian. There it is right there, the whole market cap right now, 2.4 trillion. So we'll see what winds up happening with crypto, but it looks like it's trying to go upside again. There it is right down here, 65.7 for Bitcoin, and we'll just drop that down. 27 there for Ethereum. So yeah, so far so good here as we watch out for iBit and crypto and yeah, just all assets right now running other than energy, really.
Chain wax over chain link all day of the week.
I put it on the chain wax.
You got to. Let's be real.
All right, let's bring in Michael Moss here to wrap things up on a Friday morning of what's been a pretty exciting week as far as the market is concerned. Yep. Are we buying the dip yet here, Mr. Noss? You have a couple of ideas for us as to where we should be looking for that.
I do, and I want to really talk about the difference between, the whole saying of catching a falling knife and then looking for some of these sectors that have been oversold and bought. Quickly, I saw you guys mention crypto. I'm going to make a bold call. I think it might be this weekend, that new all-time high in Bitcoin. We've been waiting weeks.
So Michael's buying the dip on Bitcoin then.
It looks right to me. Now, I've been wrong, I think, twice before trying to buy this all-time high breakout, but I don't know. It just feels right. Now, full disclosure, I own a bunch of Bitcoin, so I'm talking my book on that one. But yeah, let's talk about sectors that aren't near all-time highs and how we can play those. So I have been very lucky to be on here and to be talking about China and how that was working, and natural gas, and how that was working before these breakouts. And basically talking about how I think these things are ready to go. And then I got some questions from your audience, which I love when I get that, hey, you talk about buying relative strength. These things have been beaten up. How do you know the difference between I'm just going to buy something that's in a downtrend and hope that I catch the bottom, and I'm going to look for things that have been in a downtrend for a while and may be turning around? So the first slide I have here this is Stan Weinstein's from one of his books. He's a great technician. He's been doing this for many, many moons. And he kind of coined this term about stage analysis and essentially talking about how the market generally moves in 4 stages. And he used a 30-week EMA for this, so I put that on the charts as well. But I don't really think that matters too much. I think most of us as traders can kind of eyeball this. You have stage 1, which is accumulation. This is where essentially you have value investors, people who have done the math and say, this is a good price for me to start getting in. That's where they participate. And then you have stage 2, which is generally your uptrend. And this is where generally people like me who like to buy pullbacks and trends, like to buy continuations and uptrends, this is where we get involved. Then you have stage 3, which is the opposite. You have the momentum traders taking profits. You have the value investors taking profits. And then generally speaking, this is where retail starts to get involved, unfortunately, at this stage 3 at the top. And that causes this accumulation phase. And then you have stage 4, which is your downtrend. And then that cycle repeats, not perfectly, right? You don't obviously come right back to where you started and things like this, but you'll see this happen over and over again in markets. So what I'm going to kind of show is why I was interested in China, where I was and when I was, and why I was interested in natural gas, where I was and when I was, and how these line up. So this is a kind of a perfect chart for this. So we talked about these different stages, and the blue line on here, I just put on Stan Weinstein's 30-week moving average. These are weekly charts, just to show when we are under this moving average, and you can see a pretty precipitous downtrend here. This is a stage 4 distribution. This is people selling. This is a downtrend. I'm not really interested. The slope of that moving average is lower, and we are below that moving average. That's a stay away, or if you're a short trader, look to short for me in that time frame. Now you can start to see the stage 1 that occurs where that starts to level out. The moving average levels out. Price starts to cross above and below it, just like in the diagram above. That to me is around a stage 1. So that's where I'm going to start looking for breakouts in these. This allows me to stay out of downtrends. And then if we are going to enter that stage 2 uptrend, hopefully I can get some. So a better example here, I think, is the next chart with KWeb. So KWeb, again, these look the same over and over again. We had this stage 4 downtrend. You notice I wasn't really talking about KWeb at all there. I don't think many people were. This is right, it's in a downtrend, stay out. But then you have months and in this case, over 2 years of this stage 1 accumulation. This, to me, if you're somebody who wants to do the buy low, sell high, as opposed to trend trading, this is where you take your shots. You never know which one is going to break out into a stage 2 uptrend, but you're taking your shots. And this is why I think a couple weeks ago, I was buying Baba and JD and a couple of these names that I have in my portfolio now, because what I'm hoping is that this stage 1 morphs into a stage 2. So this concept alone, I think, would really, really help traders that are looking to buy low and sell high, is just stay out when you're in this very noticeable stage 4 decline, and then start to get in when you enter these kind of stage 1 accumulation areas, because at least you know where you're wrong, right? On my KWeb and my China play, if we break down under this base, I'm wrong. Maybe we go into another stage 4 decline, and it's time to move on. Now, let's take a look at a couple ETFs that may be setting up right now. So first of all, we have TAN. So this is solar. I've talked about solar a few times, been dead wrong on it, breaking this level. Not too wrong, because you can see for the last 2 years or so, we haven't moved. So this is a very zoomed out view where you can see pretty much all of them, right? You can see the stage 2 uptrend that happened in 2020, the stage 3, that was the distribution. Again, the moving average is flat. We're above and below that. That's another no-go area. That's 2021 to 2023. And then we entered this decline in 2023 down to now. And maybe are we in a stage 1 now? Is this the point at which that we are going to start accumulating and start to push higher? So solar is very much on watch for me. If I can get a breakout in this ETF above this moving average again, I may take another shot. You can almost see where it broke that moving average before, where I took the shot before. But the beauty of this kind of analysis is that when you're wrong small. If this thing trends, it trends big. And then last but not least for this chart, I just put giant question marks here for MSOS. So this is the marijuana ETF. Not enough data to see the whole stage 1 and stage 2. This is essentially, it had a run and it's been in that stage 4 decline forever. But you can see the same kind of pattern. We're crossing above and below this 30-week moving average. We haven't gone lower in a long period of time. It hasn't gone higher, but it hasn't gone lower. So this is another one that I'm going to keep an eye on. I just put question marks here because I just don't know if this sector is ever going to get going. We don't have evidence like we do with other sectors that they have these kind of cyclicality. It could just be that, right, this is just dead in the water. Weed just never becomes an industry that you can invest in. But this is another one that I'm putting in that kind of stage 1 bucket, and I want to keep an eye on.
I can answer that for you. No, it's not. I know because we're going to get this question. Is there, in your work with this theory, is there a time frame on the way back down? So obviously we're looking at weekly time frame or a swing type of idea on the investing side. Is there a time frame on the way back down shorter where this starts to lose some of the validity or efficiency when it comes to spotting these types of moves? This is not necessarily, and this is an assumption, but you tell me, this is not necessarily something you can apply on a 5-minute or 3-minute type of time frame.
No, this is more for the concept behind this is the difference between your major market participants, right? So stage 1, and again, is going to be your Warren Buffetts, your value investors, these guys who they have a number in their head and they say, if natural gas or the China ETF gets to this level, based off all this fundamental data that I've done, that's where I'm going to start accumulating. And that's what the theory is. That's what creates that floor, is these people say, right, the solar is worth this amount of money based off forward PEs and cash and growth rates and whatever it is. And that creates that kind of floor. And then you have the transition when it breaks out to the momentum traders and the trend followers like myself. So I wouldn't really look at this on anything shorter than maybe even a weekly time frame or a daily time frame. But that doesn't mean that you can't look at something like an MSOS on a weekly time frame and say, hey, it's in a stage 4 downtrend. If I'm a day trader, I'm going to be leaning to that short side unless we're very much extended or something like that. So there's nothing wrong with taking this concept and then using that as kind of a bias for a lower time frame. But yeah, this is very much meant to play off those different psychological or different trader types. Yeah,
big picture type perspective on what it is you might actually be looking on smaller time frame. Great stuff as always. Trader TV 20, guys, if you want 20% off. Trade Ideas, if you're doing some back testing over the weekend, great platform to get started. Shout out to Michael Noss and our friends over at Trade Ideas. Have a great weekend.
Thank you very much. You guys have a great one.
Thank you very much, Sir Michael. And I don't know, all this hate on MSOS up there by Brennan is like, no, it can go. It's an election year. Anything can happen. But look, obviously, Michael is correct. When you talk about trends, trends being good to follow, obvious kind of stuff, but also waiting for an actual confirmation or reason for it to reverse, that can be worth waiting for. And we talked about this in the context with all the Chinese ADRs. Like, you just join the move after it makes the bottom, and it's so much easier than trying to pick that bottom. Now, all that said, I mean, MSOS is at the 50. It's trying. It's certainly trying. I can see a little bit of a maybe rounded bottom forming, and we still are always going to have the alert for when this gets to like 8.25. So I don't see why not. I mean, obviously, it's going to need some kind of a catalyst in there, but rightfully so. You look at some of those. You look at TAN and specifically the solar names, and individually, like when you look at the ETF. I mean, Michael already went over TAN, but if you look at First Solar in particular, like this is already making the bounce and starting to form, a nice little trend back into some highs here. Really good day, obviously yesterday. What's crazy is like literally everything dipped on that stupid SMCI thing. Like, this was running at the open and right about 10 o'clock and then just rolling back over. Gave up the entire morning move of like $10. It ended up closing back near the highs, but it just goes to show like the kind of day it was yesterday, kind of trapping a bunch of longs early, and then you're just resuming the strength. It's like as if nothing even happened on this thing, just resuming its breakout. So I think at an individual level, what can happen when you're looking at those ETFs that are trying to break out is as they're trying to break out, you probably have one or two of the stronger names in the space that are doing the breakout that maybe you can go to and start looking for a trend a little bit early if you're into that sort of thing. So, good luck on TAN. Hopefully it'll go. First Solar is making a move upside already.
Yeah, First Solar was one of those names that Brian Shannon brought to everybody on Tuesdays. So that was a nice one. I just had to go move our car. FSLR. Reef and I, they're washing the garage today, and I did not
Guess I got to do it once a year.
I didn't get the memo that nobody got, so that was okay then. Yeah, there's First Solar right now. Yeah, this looks like it does want to break out. I'm talking about, again, a basing out and then now the pop. So yeah, I think if solar names are going to be hot, it's funny because, XLV, I was thinking about this too. This is pretty much an underperformer healthcare. I'm not actually into XLV. I was waiting for XBI to break a little bit higher. But XLV has not been a great performer this year, and heading into recycling, heading into election with only less than 40 days away now, healthcare normally is a hot topic. I haven't even heard that much about healthcare, to be honest with you, right here. This is, it's still performing nice, right? This was 138 to 153. So it's up $15. You're up like 13? You're up about 10% only, I guess, since the beginning of the year, which is pretty good for a health ETF, don't get me wrong. But if you compare it to XLI and some of those other ones, a little bit more extended on some of those plays. But just as a note here, I'm debating buying this now, buying XBI, if and when it goes back. Okay? I think here, I think here, I think here, I think here. These are all 50-period moving averages right now on XLV. I think you've got a nice little dip buy opportunity into that space, as opposed to the XBI right now, which is going to be the biotech, which still looks great, but we have that top that we're trying to break out from right here. So again, 50 period, 50 period, 50 period, 50 period. You could buy either one. This just looks a little bit like I might as well just play one as a dip and then one as a breakout play. There are different holdings, right? This is like an Amgen and Regeneron and some of the names that are more the biotech names, the other ones, the healthcare names, UNH and so on and so forth. So you could sprinkle on either one of them. But I think that these heading into election cycle here, which we're already in, and then into the close, I think these are names that we can maybe get some value as every other market, not every other market, but most of these markets approach all-time highs. These are two that I think we can go value hunting in.
All right, we'll touch on a few other things as we head towards the open here this morning. We'll get into the watch list. I was going to talk about SMCI, but let's leave that for the overall watch list. A few analyst notes this morning. Bumble, I saw, was down again today. Not a huge move, but downgrade for BMBL. Bristol Myers moving around here, BMY. FDA approval for a schizophrenia drug for BMY. There's also Cassava Sciences on this fraud charge. Finally, actually, charges coming through. But there's Bristol Myers, nice gap to the upside. You guys were talking about CAVA in the pre-market here this morning, just kind of hanging out here.
Yeah, I was looking at this yesterday, Brendo. There's more investigations with respect to fraud for the clinical stage trials. I was talking to Neil about it this morning. It is not their first rodeo down this issue, Brendo. Yeah. So I hate to see it because I always want to champion some of these companies that are trying to cure these ailments, but if you're going to do it through the fraudulent method, not a good look. And it's already down. Well, it's recovering right now, though, up about 0.5%. It was well down, 7%
We're back to the bottom end of the range here for the daily chart. But yeah, ugly here, guys, for SAVA.
What's interesting about this is, let me see if I can find it. Anyways, Martin Shkreli, Farmer Boy, if you guys remember who that is, he actually tweeted something out where it's not just that they were lying, but in the SEC release, apparently the release actually showed that their drug, which they were allegedly lying about, didn't beat the placebo. So that's not good in like multiple fronts, obviously.
When the placebo wins, it's not good for the underlying.
Which is why you would, in theory, allegedly have to lie about the results.
You guys are too
allegedly. I'm just, Shkreli's the one that tweeted that. And it's down 13%. It's hard for me not to think short on this stock, but I mean, look at why does it have such distinct levels? It's Cassava Sciences. Cassava Sciences shouldn't have such ridiculous, obvious support at 26 and resistance at 32, but that's what the daily chart's telling you. So it's a bit weird in that, I would love for it to pop back into here. This is about just underneath $30, right? So resistance, support, 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 and now we're gapping back under, and 26 is the bottom. So I'd like to be, if I short this, I'd like to be shorting it into 30, or it has to just lose 26 and break down, which it doesn't seem like it's reacting that crazily. It's only a few 100,000 shares in pre-market volume. So it's not dumping on this story, which has been ongoing for quite some time. But yeah, the 30 level, if it catches a bit of a bid and goes halfway back to where it closed, I think that's a fade level on Cassava Sciences. I'm not really, I'm loosely following this story. I can't think long on this thing.
No, I mean, we just talked about some healthcare names. I mean, I think you should just, if there was going to be a real name, and I don't know, I mean, I don't want to say anything and then Pfizer comes out with some placebos of their own. But, this has been a name that hasn't done much. It's gone sideways for a very, very long time. So I think that Pfizer, if you want to sit there and collect the dividend and wait for this thing to eventually pop, they're trying to work on an oral form of the GLP-1 drug. They had some fails with that as well. I just think that this name, if you're going to look for something that potentially has some kind of value, this is Pfizer. I mean, this is a big-time company with a strong dividend. I don't think the dividend's in any, I think it's 4%. I don't think it's in any jeopardy or anything like that. You're above the 200-period moving average. You're just hovering around the 50-period. I think this name looks like, again, little safer of a play. Not that this is not in the same bucket as SAVA or anything like that. I'm just trying to say names that have been beat up a little bit here that have a chance to go. I mean, Pfizer right down here looks like a pretty good opportunity, especially if you can get it where you can right now, $28, $29. At least you're not paying $30, $31. You have a little bit of room for error back in here. So, yeah, I mean, I think this is another one. I don't see why it would fail and break through this 25, 30. Again, when you have a lot of drugs, as we just looked at with SAVA, that are in development mode and things like that in trial phases, you can always get a fail. And when that happens, the stock gets hammered pretty well because, again, this is why we just had the guy Novo Nordisk, right? Come on, NVO, and was talking in front of Congress there, trying to justify the price of, what is it, $1,000 a month or something for Wegovy or whatever one they have. And then it just goes to show that, the amount of investment that a lot of these companies put in, that this is what the case was, cost them billions and billions of dollars to create these products. So therefore, they need to charge that much, right? And so you're going to look here at Novo Nordisk again at don't mind this, at this level here, 120. So we do have a little bit of a base here as well for support. So I like the sector. I like some of the names in here. I still stay long Eli Lilly. That's really my only exposure to that. I mean, I have AbbVie as another one, and I do have a bit of Pfizer. So, and then looking at those two ETFs.
We're marginally green to start here on the futures on the ES December contract. We closed out yesterday 58.04, so we did defend that 100-point level at 5,800. Let's see if we can use it as support. We're already above it to start the pre-market. Look where we rejected off, 58.25. So we're going to use that area as resistance unless we take it and then possibly use it as support.
If you haven't done so yet, make sure you go down to the description of this video. There's the link, top of the very first link actually in the description. Will get you to the watch list. All you need is an email address. Enter it, and then we send you everything you need to know every single day right to your inbox for free. We do all your homework for you. A couple things we'll touch on SMCI here, but I was just going through, I guess we'll talk about Costco in a second, but I was just going through Costco's breakdown of their earnings. It's crazy. SMCI, the guys were mentioning earlier, huge move downside on this DOJ note yesterday. Do we get an opportunity today? I mean, with this type of idea, it's going to be headline based.
It looks like it's trying to defend 400. It's at 400 right now. We'll see how the day ends up. In case you're wondering what's going on with this one, back in August, late August, we got the Hindenburg report that alleged fraudulent accounting by this company. Subsequent to that, one of their former employees registered as a whistleblower, and a lot of the investigation is based by the Department of Justice is based on what this whistleblower is saying, basically saying that the CEO as well as company executives are cooking the books, Brendo.
Fudging stuff.
That's the look.
Not good.
Nope.
No, it's obviously never good, if true. And look, it was down well over 10% yesterday, so it's going to be short sell restricted today. There was a pretty distinct bounce off of some obvious lows. Like this is about 380 change on the daily chart, and you can see what happened when it kind of reversed that 380 level yesterday. So a bit of a reversal, managed to get all the way into 410. So I feel like the really good SSR bounce happened possibly yesterday, like the short sell restricted bounce, because you need an uptick to be able to remove liquidity from the bid to go short. So the uptick rule is in effect today on SMCI and was for the second half of the day yesterday. So it might give you some kind of a pullback. I think 390 and 380 would be the two areas that I'd look for some kind of a false break and then a relief rally on. But what this does give you the opportunity for, however, with SMCI, is that drop. It took some of these other names in here to some pretty big levels. So you have Nvidia going right back to that 122 breakout level a couple of days ago that was big and bouncing off of that. So now all of a sudden we have a nice floor for it on a Friday. Of course, it's already going because we like we apparently like that PCE number. So I don't know if we're going to get that 122. Seemed more likely before we were coming on here was just around the 123s. Whether or not it wants to take out the afternoon highs of 24.50.
Oh,
we do?
The third topic, man. You're,
okay, my bad.
Spoiling the goods here, man.
Well, I can. You know what?
On that note,
I'll talk about Intel. I'll talk about Intel then when we do
yeah.
Well, I mean.
All right, so over to me about Nvidia. Okay, so no, I was just looking it up. I just want to remind everybody what Neil just said, obviously about SMCI and the chip space. We'll get all over that. I was wondering about what the stock split date is. It's Monday. So the last day to trade, from what I just read there, was September 30th, which is Monday, and then it goes 10 to 1. So on Tuesday, this is a $40 name, and then it's game over. I guarantee you. Again, SMCI will be traded very, very heavily, hopefully on this show, probably by both of us, probably by all, and probably more by you guys as well, when this name goes $40. Right now, the spread is just pretty huge. Like even now in the pre-market, 50 cents, that's actually pretty tight. I was looking at it just a couple seconds ago. It was like $2. You could see, though, a couple of shares going through, not huge volumes or anything like that. So just be careful with the spread. And it can just get real exciting to trade. I think this is more of an option trading name right now. But then when it splits 10 to 1, then it will be a day trading name. So it still is. I mean, just got to have, for me, it's a little too wild. I've stopped trading Meta as much as I normally do and Softy as much because of the prices and just some of the movements. But at the same time, I mean, these stocks are stocks. You just trade the price action on them. Randy's not here today, so if we're going to get coffee, I think
is Robin?
I did see Rob. There's Randy. Hey, Randy, what's going on, man? Hope all is well. You look... I thought Randy
looking sharp.
Randy was just... Friday, is it Friday the 13th? No, Friday the 13th was 2 weeks ago, though. Friday the 27th, all right. China strength again?
We shall see. This portion of the show brought to you by VinFast, Vietnam's leading electric vehicle manufacturer. They've announced their Q2 2024 financial results. Deliveries rose by 44% quarter over quarter to 13,172. I actually saw one last night, bringing the first half total to over 22,000, a 101% increase year over year. Q2 revenue up $357 million. That's up 33% quarter over quarter. VinFast's success in Vietnam is pivotal, driven by rising EV adoption with global expansion and new models like the VF3. VinFast aims to deliver 80,000 vehicles this year, maintaining its commitment to sustainable mobility. I was just double checking. It's actually Tuesday. We got that split for SMCI. So the first trade day. Anyways, yeah, let's talk China, as we mentioned, across the board here once again this morning. 3 days in a row to the upside here for most of these again.
Yeah, this is a look at the KWEB, the Chinese ETF, Brendo, breaking out like you wouldn't really believe here, breaking into 34, Fabian, into $34, give or take. Yesterday, Chinese stocks as a group had their best day since 2008. That's a statement, guys. Alibaba closing at highs over $100 since 2023. Tencent closing at its highs in nearly 2 years, driven by the stimulus coming out of China. 2 trillion yuan. 1 trillion, obviously, to help with demand. The other trillion to help with the municipal debt, which is really holding back some of their property sector, Brendo.
Yeah, the e-commerce names seem to be doing, well, I mean, Baba's 1%. Here's PDD, 4% already. Just took out 34.5. Another one that had monster day, almost ending at the highs.
Alibaba's looking pretty good. I was going to show NEO for a second, but I'll start with Alibaba because China's strength, it was such a big move. Like that stat, like 2008, like the strongest day since 2008 is insane. Now keep in mind, for us, like half of that move was gapping up overnight. Like you weren't trading the first, for Alibaba, like this $6 in here. The second move, which was, if you go at least from the pre-market low, like that's $4. So really, you get that 10 or 11% and more than half of it is gapping up. Today's a little bit different. Like you're very much connected to yesterday's prices. So while you're up, it's slowing down a little bit. So if we get some kind of a, let's hang around the inside range, I think it gets pretty, with this one at least, I feel like it gets pretty simple. You closed at 105, you pivoted at 104. So if we're not as strong and there's going to be some profit taking, those offer you a couple of decent places to pick up the trend. NEO, I don't think there's anything different. Like I said, this probably every single time we've talked about NEO, and it is yet to break out above 630. So now we're still looking. It's over $6 today. The pre-market high sits at like 619 apparently. So it looks like it got relatively close, but it still hasn't broken this 630 level. I didn't even bother writing it on the note because it is what it is. You don't just sit there writing it, hey, 630 break on NEO every single day until it gets there. It might not be today. I think this is more of a next week type of play. But NEO, I love that it's holding the 200 period moving average there. This is one that's showing up and did first break, and now it just needs to make the second break 630. It's BABA at those even dollars I'll be probably looking at here today.
Yeah, I mean, there wasn't much. I was going to look at the same thing with Alibaba there, but I mean, like 103 maybe, 104 for some dip buys. So I've written down here, the sticky note is now out. There's some people asking about it. You can go and find it right now. It is also Friday right here, but we just talked about nothing about China. DraftKings I like the Nasdaq today, the TQs, SMCI, Nvidia, Tesla, DraftKings. So there's a couple ideas that we have written on there today. Go find it on X. But yeah, I was just going to look at FXI again, and I was talking with some of the guys in the algo room there. They like to trade some of the ETFs as well. So come on, why did that seem like there's something up with my daily? Like it doesn't ever want to flip over. But all right, so there it goes. FXI yesterday. Again, the market opens up here at 9:30. You can see where the volume comes in, and then the sell-off continues before it finds a base and then back to the upside. So I kind of feel the same way right now, and that is that like I think it's just such a huge move up. Like I would rather go short here, $32 if available on FXI, and see about breaking yesterday's sort of hyped up move that we had in the pre-market. So we got all the way up there, 830, then we fell down, then we tested it right off the open and came off again. So I think this is the best trade. Look, the stocks will be there. PDD, I don't know, whatever your appetite is, but this is a $32 name. If we get the same enthusiasm off the open, again, for Chinese names, then I think, which we don't have right now, we're down today. So it needs to get up. But if you want to start your shorting in and around $32, I mean, even if you zoom in and you say, well, 32 is far away, it's 31.70, first of all. I mean, that's 31.90 is VWAP. Not going to hold you, irresponsible for doing that up here as well. So you're pretty close. I like FXI. And again, this is just the ETF. Up 11%, up 7% in back-to-back days. Just seems we had a little bit of a rest there. This is huge, then that's huge again. I just don't know if we get another bump. We're also running in right here into some issues as well. Yes, Rob is in the building, ladies and gentlemen. And he always brings me with the maximum amount of coffee possible. Thank you, Rob, cup of coffee. As well. And hoots to you, too, as we go owl hunting today. Thank you, Rob. I hope you have a great day. I see Rob's still in shorts, so there are still some believers out there about this warm weather. But it is nice. Yeah, no, I'm kind of jealous, to be honest with you, Rob. I mean, shorts are comfortable.
They are, but
you know what I mean? You were wearing shorts until this week, I think.
Well, I wore shorts one day
because you had your leg.
One day this week, but no, like it's the high's like 22 degrees Celsius today, and it was 14.
Not bad, is it?
It's not that bad, but I mean, it's getting to that time of year. Sometimes I should be wearing long sleeve shirts. It's football season.
Good game yesterday, man. You mean we got the victory? We'll take
barely won
20-15.
Against the Giants. Come on, you don't get any credit for that.
Malik Neighbors, though, 13 balls yesterday. That guy is something else. Just got to hope for Marvin Harrison, MHJ I haven't said MHJ yet. I always write it, but I never say it.
Harrison Jr.
Marvin Harrison Jr. there. We'll see if he can do it. But here's Josh Allen. They're on. This is going to be a problem this week, actually. I think it'll be their toughest game of the season in Baltimore.
Ain't no problem.
This might be the only time all year, unless they go into KC.
Ain't no problem.
This might be the only time they're the underdogs.
Ain't no problem.
All year. No, I don't know if it's a problem or not, but I'm just saying this might be the only time this year the Buffalo.
Josh Allen wants to be the underdog.
Unless he gets hurt. I mean, that's the only way that the Bills are not.
We're toast if we ever have to go to
because
Trubisky.
it's not Trubisky. I was going to say Mason Rudolph. He's in.
How you don't have a legitimate backup quarterback when you have Super Bowl aspirations is beyond me. I've never understood that. To me, not having a backup quarterback when you're a playoff team that's good is like trading without a stop order. Why would you do it? There's too much at stake. It's just protect your neck.
What was that? I thought in our chat that they were just joking about Neighbors having a concussion, but I guess he did. I missed that. I stopped watching. He left the game with concussion. Yeah, I saw that talk about that, but I wasn't sure.
Oh, that sucks.
Because we make fun of each other all the time in that pool.
Sports.
So I wasn't sure if someone was just like.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, hopefully it's not a concussion. Hopefully he just left the game and is fine. But all right, we'll find out more about Malik Neighbors.
Exactly. Yeah. Let's talk semiconductors here. AMD back to session highs right now. Actually, there was that double top yesterday. We had crazy volatility. Ends the day back at the highs. I mean, this was yesterday morning, but their MI300X going to support Oracle's cloud infrastructure, new product from AMD. Across the board, though, I mean, the guys were talking about Intel even. Yeah. Bit of a bounce back to the upside today. Right across the board, this entire group looking pretty good.
Not bad at all. And I want to show the chart here on Intel before I tell you about the headlines. Look at this rounded bottom. We kind of defend that $20 area, looking to move possibly up to 30. I'll let the big kahunas look at this, but there's obviously a gap there from that $30 breakdown. So a couple of headlines today for Intel. One is that $8.5 billion grant that they're getting from the CHIPS Act is nearing completion, likely before the end of 2024. It's a part of a $20 billion package. The rest is going to be loans likely to be used to build new factories and modernize their factories out in Arizona. The other headline with respect to Intel, ARM expressed interest in acquiring their product division, which designs and sells their chips for PCs. Intel not interested in actually selling that to ARM. This is after we got reports of Qualcomm, who's also interested in acquiring parts of Intel. But Intel here really not interested at all in basically selling any part of its business, Brendo, despite the fact that we heard about their willingness to do that.
It was so crazy, that whole debacle over 2 days that Oracle was going to buy it. Nuts. Anyways, ARM, yeah, definitely relatively strong out of the gate yesterday. We did get the sell-off and then back to basically halfway back, I guess, at the close yesterday, but positive here to start again for ARM as well.
Come on, son.
Okay, so it was my bad. I already mentioned Nvidia when we were talking about SMCI because far be it from me to be able to look 2 lines down and see semis along. Okay, so that's on me. But Intel, I don't really care about the news. I just care that it's over 24 again. So this was one of those yesterday in the morning when I was just waiting for it to get back above 24 and then hold above, and it just didn't. Thank you very much for that, Intel. But at least it gave that 23.30 support. Still like it. I feel like if you get to 23.30 again today, while I believe it's a long, something bad, really, really bad has happened. And I'd still probably take it, but I feel like it's just not going to happen. So 24 is a level. You did break it out already, at least a little bit here when we got that PCE data. So now all of a sudden we're setting up at VWAP. You got the pre-market support here at 23.90 to work off of. So I'm looking dip buy on them. And to the point on ARM's right at that $150 level, which has been pretty much like the key spot. Like you can see, there's your top in the afternoon. There's your dump zone. Now this is a bit of a coincidence because this is around the time it was like, it was right about 10:40 when SMCI dumped everything. So it kind of just happened that ARM was at that price, but then it resisted in the afternoon. So I think it confirmed that it's a key level. It's trying to break out from here. So I'd much rather, like Intel 24, fine. But ARM, it needs to hold 150 and break out the top to continue the move up. So I'd be much more interested in joining ARM as it goes breaking out through the highs than just sitting on a 150 level. I keep drawing trend lines for reversals on ARM and then forgetting to delete them. But yeah, breaking out yesterday's highs would be a little more interesting for ARM, whereas Intel, I'd pick it up at 24. I would like the 122 on Nvidia, as I mentioned before. I just don't know if we'll get a dip that far on Nvidia, so might have to look a little higher.
All right. I have the exact same level there. So I just wrote down it here on Nvidia, and honestly, dip by solid support this week. SMCI news derailed our trade yesterday. So I just wanted to say that yesterday we had this level. We had all of these things written down. We liked 125, 124 yesterday, and it's just a matter of having to wait for that play to come through there. I just saw something funny on my stupid Twitter there. I'll see if I can find it again. This X is too much. Okay, so just looking at this right here, there's 122. I think there's a chance we get into here. I mean, I didn't think yesterday that was going to happen. You can see that we were really noticing that it was resisting the top and the bottom early yesterday, and that was 126, right? We got it going to 127.50. Everything off the open kind of pumped, right? And then we faded back out. As soon as we broke that, it was see you later. So I think the same thing could happen right now. I mean, we could have some traders that are going to come in here and try to support this 123.50. 124 area. The minute that breaks, then I think we can get into 123. This could be a good area to start your long, but there's no way, like this keeps on happening to me, right, with Nvidia. And yesterday we lost on it because we kept on trying to chase this 125 and then it just didn't hold, right? So we had talked about this, but then we left it alone. I think you can actually wait for it to make a bottom. When it does that, you could keep trying. The problem is yesterday, we just kept trying too early. These are only 1 minute candles. So I could find my trades from yesterday. I had over 200 fills on this stock. We tried to catch the long. It worked a little bit, then it failed. Then it worked, then it failed. Then it worked, then it failed. Eventually, we had some back in there. And then we tried to go short under the 50-period moving average, and that didn't work. So it was a big like mess in here, I feel like, and it wasn't really that great on the after hours either, or in the closing. So I would just rather wait for it. Yesterday's closing price on a big volume candle was 124. We're under that right now and starting to go lower. So for me, semis again, very good chance to flush off the open. It's red, market's green, good chance for another flush. I'm sitting here. I'm already bidding. I'm bidding right now 122.50. So let's see if that one comes out. It's honestly the only bid or offer that I have out right now. It's Nvidia 122. Shout out to you, Hamster, and shout out to my good friend Phil, as we'll look for some good fills at some point today.
All right, Bitcoin back to the upside 2-3 days in a row here. Gary Gensler was on CNBC, among other places yesterday, talking about Bitcoin, reiterating his stance on the non-security side of things, which helped things yesterday. Getting a little bit of boost once again today here for BTC.
That's important from this from the chair of the SEC, certainly, because that had been an issue, right? It's an unregulated security. So here are some of the tailwinds. Spot Bitcoin ETFs had significant inflows yesterday to the tune of about 365 million net inflows. The historical performance as well of Bitcoin in Q4 is quite good. So we could see some more tailwinds there. And Brendo mentioning also Gensler's affirmation. Last but not least, the Harris-Waltz economic plan did mention digital assets, albeit briefly, which possibly indicated, a softer stance by their possible administration.
I reserve my comment on that. What is it? 3.4% so far this week, guys, for Bitcoin.
Yeah, it's not just you that's looking at Shibu, by the way. It's my physio guys also was cheering it yesterday for pretty much the entirety of our session, which was pretty cool. But look, Mara, 2.5 points upside. I want to talk Coinbase too, maybe as well as Mara. I was just actually checking to see. I think we actually have Shiba to trade, to be honest with you guys. And the reason we don't necessarily look at those sometimes is you can't short them. The ETFs are a little bit better. We can only go long here at Real Trading if we trade directly in, say, like Bitcoin or directly in ETH or something like that. But Mara's holding the 50 period. I think it's got this nice little over-under level from yesterday. It might break out past the 18. As long as we're holding 65,000, which we are, I have like this 17.5 where we closed. It was support in the afternoon. As I said, that 50 period on the daily is holding. Mara is in the midst of finally, it had that long consolidation, 15 to 16.5. It's now broken out of that. So now that it's broken away from it, just want to look longs, at least until it gets to $19. Typically, when the entire space is going, Coinbase was going as well here. And it's doing something very, very similar to what happened in Mara, just a consolidation, breakout yesterday, a little bit of a continuation play today. I think the equivalent dip would be down at 180 on coin. I just think it's more likely Mara trades at those levels and gives the dip buy move that I'd be looking for. As long as you're holding on to 65,000. You lose that and we trend down, then I don't want to be buying the dip. Always have my eyes on Bitcoin. But when they're starting to go as a group and trending, which you've now started another consolidation breakout trend on the equities, I would rather be joining the move. Relatively strong pretty much the entire time. Like when we had that SMCI dip, it was the crypto names that I think got the better of things for the overall market. They were able to hold on much better than pretty much everything else.
Yeah, I just put in a bid right now for IBIT. See, again, I changed it. Let's go, charts. Right here. Okay, so let's just wait to see what winds up happening with this. I mean, I like that. I was just reading our notes now, the Harris-Waltz economic plan, as they mentioned on the desk there, digital assets, talking about that. That's great. I think that we already know that one side of the aisle with Trump has been talking about crypto and digital, and now the other side is going to as well. I think that's really great. I mean, it's a nice move up. I'm going to go long here on this break of 37.60. If it continues to go, great. If not, we have VWAP right here at 37.40. I think it's worth 20 cents. Like, just take the shot there off the open that crypto maybe continues to go. I was just going to see what it did yesterday. So yesterday, really, I don't know if crypto really cares about US Open, to be honest with you. I mean, it's nice to see the market rally and go up with the Nasdaq, but that little level right there, let's just see if it breaks it. So yesterday, 37.50 was the high. This morning, it's 37.60. So we'll just play the same one. If it wants to break there, great. Let's just see if it holds. VWAP wasn't super important yesterday. It held kind of in the afternoon until it didn't. I'm not super concerned about any of those levels. I would just sort of play it back to this little break right here, 37.40, 37.35. So we'll take a 60 long. We'll put on some shares. Again, it's only a $40 name. We'll see if we can get this to run. I like IBIT. I mean, imagine crypto takes 66. I mean, then I think it's off to the races. I mean, here's a little bit of a longer, and we still got one more thing to talk about with Meta, but let's just quickly show you this. This is Bitcoin right now. This is a 5-minute chart. This is the 200-period moving average. So look at it, just hold, hold, hold. Obviously, it goes up, so not much holding, but bounces there, bounces there, bounces there, bounces again. So I like the stock right here. This is the 50-period, not great, but it's this 200 that if we can hold 65.3, then I think we can go. There's 66,000. Watch out for a break, right? You break that high, the 200 period moves up with it, and I think you're doing pretty good. So for me, crypto's a long, 3 minutes left.
To wrap things up here, just popped up actually through 570, bit of a pullback right now, but still on watch after the Connect event going back earlier this week. I'm not sure if it was yesterday it wrapped up or if there's more today, but I mean, we get all the headlines right out of the gate for the Meta Connect event, but very, very active downside out of the gate yesterday. We'll see if we can't bounce here.
Yeah, a couple of headlines today for Meta, Brendo. The first one over here, European Union's lead privacy regulator fining Meta about $100 million, about 91 million euros. Not a big deal for them. It's related to the storage of the user passwords without actually encrypting them. And the inquiry was initiated by Ireland and then followed through by the European Union. Separately, the Orion augmented reality glasses. This is what I want to hear about, guys. And now, apparently, a lot of reporters got their own version for review. So look out for those reviews online. I'm very excited about this product.
I mean, it's still a prototype.
I think it's cool, man.
Some of the videos actually look really good.
Yeah.
It's almost comparable to that Apple VR headset, as you were saying.
Yeah, no doubt. Definitely cool for sure. Look, it's 9:28, so a couple minutes to go here. Nothing really big on a Friday on the imbalance locator. You're going to have NEO and XPeng here, 1, 2. The only things over, 400,000 shares. Both buy imbalances, but again, nothing gigantic. The concern I have with Meta is multiple topping tail candles in this essentially all-time high consolidation. So 570, where we're sitting right now, like look at the tail wicks. Now 2 days in a row, you've essentially had failures out and about above the 570 level. Notably 574, we just false broke that again. So this is if there are not buyers above 570 on Meta, I don't want any part of the long unless it's at 562. Like yesterday's lows, like yesterday with that SMCI thing, those are the kinds of lows that I like. Because when everyone's like panicking, you have moves like this to the downside, where people buy when something like this drops $13 or $14, that matters to me. And more than just than any other bottom it makes. So I like this 562 if we get it, but it needs to hold above 70 for the longs to come back in. Otherwise, I think this could easily trend back down. We've been mentioning Apple in 229.5. So this is 229.5. Apple looks relatively strong compared to some of the other big cap tech names. So I got this one watch. It looks like 229.5 could get broken out today. Tesla's back over the big 257 level as well. A couple of names we did not talk about.
Yeah, I got DraftKings on my mind as well, and I just want to do what's up to Luis here, Day Trading.
What up?
He's messaging me on the sticky note. He's like, come on, Sean, CNEYONCO duo. So I just retweeted it for you there. So what's up, Luis? Just some names that he's looking at there as we get into the lower cap names. DraftKings also on the watch list there at $40. Good breakout there for DraftKings. I'm glad that we talked about that. One now over $41.50. DraftKings. We have the bell. It's
brought to you by Firefly Neurosciences. Let's ring it right now because the market is open. Shout out to Ram.
Unlike the Nasdaq, we got it done. Like an official market open.
We got it done.
Okay, so here we go. Yeah, we did get it done. All right, Nvidia. So here's the move down a little bit. We did talk about potentially a little bit of an early flush here on some of these names, but not really. Nvidia right now trying to hold out the 200 period. Just bounced off 123.60, but that's not going to be a play for me right now. Keep them coming, man. If anything's moving outsized, have us look at it. Micron right now. What a great move that's been over the last couple days. Obviously down to 108 right now. Down on the day, a name that we did not get to today that we kind of wanted to get to, but 108 dropping down. Watch out for a 107.50 break lower. That was a level that I wanted to look at with Micron. It held yesterday. May not hold today. You just mentioned Tesla. That's an important name.
Yeah, Tesla just tagged $258 here. So that one's headed up. I mean, Apple's going too, but Apple's $1 away from that 59 or 29.5 level. Tagging 258 here is Tesla. It's 57. That's to me like the over/under.
I'm gonna try
over/under level. Yeah, I feel like it's gonna maybe break it now instead of giving the dip buy off of VWAP. That's gonna be frustrating. Nvidia's coming downside. All right, so Nvidia is coming downside here. I think we get a chance. Maybe we get a chance at that 122. Intel's trying to bounce off the 24. The market's starting to roll to the downside here. So relative strength, Tesla, Apple so far.
Yeah, so I'll start a little bit of a trade here with Micron. So again, we said we'd want to be patient, and I know getting involved here at 932 is not overly patient. But there's that 110.20. I just think it's worth the risk. I was looking at a 109 break. Here anyways for this name. So we'll wait to see if it can break this 109. We already broke it early there, but see what's kind of this pre-market bottom and this little top right there. Let's just see if it breaks it and gets into this 107.50. So I'm going to try to think about this as a break level. And then if we're wrong, I mean, we can get out at, I'm not going to average into this too much. Maybe we'll take a little bit more at 110, but 110.20, which is coming in right now. This is a very, very light position for us. We have Michigan consumer sentiment coming out at 10 o'clock. Here it goes. If I'm going to average in, it would be now on Micron. So let's just do that. Hey, we could be wrong. They had a huge report yesterday, man. It was down on the day. The market started to fade. We just averaged in. We're short right now at 109.77 on Micron. Let's take something out for 50 cents if we can, at the 50 cent mark here. Maybe we'll take a quarter on this trade, and our stop is now pretty identifiable up here at 110.40 stop on this one. Tesla, Neil's going.
Tesla's kind of foregone now, up 2%. I just want to remind you, I also like a short in Cassava Sciences. I'll get to that in a quick little second as well, but Tesla just tagged 59. Okay, now it's starting to come back in here. Wow, do you see that move? That just went 59 third, right back into 58. So that's looking like it is going to dip and give us some VWAP in here. Cassava Sciences, I'm going to get on the offer. It is breaking to the downside. Holding VWAP. This was the, whatever. Like they have like some fraud charges for falsifying data that's been going on for them. Down 15%. Pretty self-explanatory here, but it's about to break the lows. I want to short to the pre-market high on first available pop here.
Yeah, we, darn it. I was just like, oh man, here goes Micron. You know, it went as low as into the 30s there on Micron. Actually, 30 on the bid. I don't know if it actually got printed. I just saw 34 was on the bid. So we actually get a 50 there. Yeah, there it is. So it does. So it does print 20s. Okay. But anyways, it goes down there. We got 109.50. We talked about putting a bid there. Watch out for our stop up here, 110.20, 110.50 for Micron on a potential stop out for that play. So I'm just waiting for that to happen. Nvidia,
Bye-bye.
Tesla,
This thing
Cassava,
is gone.
you're short? No, not short.
This thing
Cassava.
is gone.
All right, so yeah, there goes Cassava Sciences again. Come on, Micron, bring it on down, man. We're bidding right here, 109 teens. Maybe we can get that, but it looks like it wants to be stronger. So watch out for the stop on Micron right now. Here it comes in, 110.50. We'll get broken out. We took a little bit of a winner, but now we're back into this name. It looks like it wants to get excited here. Market bidding back up. So we're short Micron right now at 109.94. So I think this is worth 50 cents, man. We'll put another bid down here just in case it does decide to drop.
Damn. Okay, so like, look, Cassava Sciences lost the bid in a big way, and I'm not chasing it. Like, I'm not chasing it $2 on a
Don't do it.
$20-something stock. It gets insane if it can pop. Fine. Intel's breaking out the highs here, so didn't really retest 24. You had to be on the bid at 24 right at the open. So first available dip into pre-market highs is where we're going to go over on Intel. That'll be in front of the 20 level. Nvidia's still heading down here.
What Nvidia's doing?
It's at 23s, but there hasn't been much of an uptick yet. So I don't see
going down?
I don't see any reason not to wait for 122. This is heavy. This is heavy. ARM over under 150.
Yeah.
Okay, ARM, if it's going back underneath that 150 level, this is the over under. False breakout right now. Any false break that retraces back under, that's a short setup. With Nvidia going down, I got to look for something to the south side.
Feeling like some Montel Williams because this is how we do it, if you know what I'm saying right there. 110 right now short on Micron.
Jordan.
We just take that bid. Here it is. Okay, here we go. Did we just get filled down there? No, we did not. We're at 109 teens, my bad. All right, so we'll wait to see if we do get that flush. The thing about it is, I don't know why this is strong and our boy is weak. So like right now, I pulled my bid on Nvidia down there. I just want to be sure that we're going to be right on this. I was bidding 122.50s. We talked about that's where my bid was, but I'm a little bit nervous now about Micron because it's not going anywhere fast right now. I'm going to put another bid right here and then cancel my teens, see if we can get something out.
The market's dropping hard.
I know. That's why I'm a little bit not perplexed. This is day 2, right? I mean, there was earnings yesterday. Give me that. That's me at 43s. There it goes. Yeah, buddy. So we'll go. Now we'll see if we can go a little diamond hands. Look, we have to keep getting out, right? I mean, we've seen it now. We're now out of half. We've seen it bounce over and over here from 109.50. Like yesterday, we talked about how good our Nvidia trade was, and then it punched us in the mouth. So right now, let's make sure that we take out some of this, and just in case it goes back up. Still could be an L on the board here for Micron, but we're going to trade it accordingly and trade the short. That's, I mean, you know, let's not give up on it. We're still bidding 109 teens. I just put it back.
109 teens. Montel Jordan Williams is the talk show host.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I know. It's just one of those things, man. You know, I love that song. It's a great one.
What did I say, Montel?
You said the host.
Oh, Montel Williams, I said. My bad.
Who's legit, too, man.
Yeah, is he, though?
He was doing some
man.
things
like
back in the day, man.
Stuff,
he was
man.
doing some... He had his moment back in the day. I'm not going to hate on him.
I think he's still around.
I have no idea.
I think so, man.
Yeah, I have no idea what the guy.
My bad. Yeah, I did not mean that character. Micron's coming down. Go. You have Intel. Okay, so you're actually one.
Which is weird because I'm long one, short the other. But the over/under on ARM, and this is exactly that setup where you fail a break of the high, 150 over/under, fail a break of the high, go into the short back underneath. If it makes a fresh high, get out. But Intel's still in the midst of like holding its break. Now 24 was the over/under for me on Intel, so it broke out, it's consolidating higher. But it might lose the bid here. So we'll see about Intel. Nvidia did get close. Oh my goodness, Nvidia got close. 122.40.
Right.
Quarters, that can't be a real wick. 25s it got to. Oh, this should be long. It should have been long this down at that 122, I think. And then SAVA is really bouncing here, guys. SAVA coming right back into VWAP. That just bounced $1.50 on a $20 stock, but right back into VWAP. So I'm going to take the first crack at Cassava Sciences short. Give me the fill.
We in the building right there, and that's your first trade. We have one trade on, and it is a dollar club. So there it goes, man. I mean, we battle back. We talked about not having a great day yesterday in our very first trade here today. Again, punched it right in the mouth right there. So we'll now wait to see what winds up happening. It's Micron. It's a trade streak. This one's for you. We found it in the wild. Right there. So we didn't even have a chance to talk about Micron early. We talked about the semis. We wanted a day 2 play runner in here. I liked it on a break through 109. That didn't happen. Gave us a short opportunity. So we just sit there and take it, and that's what it is. So right there, good trade there for me on Micron. We're pretty happy with it. All right, let's just go. I mean, it could still, I don't have any more bids, man. We still have a third of this on. We said we had half. We just got out of another piece. So there we go. Still a third on Micron right now. All right, IBIT does not run that top. I still have the bid in case it wants to take it out, but Bitcoin is falling down a little bit. I thought it could go the other way. It's relatively muted at 65.4, but it is starting to head down. And actually, I'm going to cancel that top take right there. Let's just wait. We'll watch it. If it starts to go, then we can look back at IBIT. But it's at the 200 period, a possible buy area. The only thing about me and some of this is I haven't charted it well enough yet on IBIT, because some of these lines aren't really going to matter because crypto's 24 hours. So just because IBIT is at the 200 period moving average really has nothing to do with crypto, because 200 periods is different when the market's open 24 hours. But again, after 200 minutes, then it should matter. But I'm just talking about it mattering early on in the day. So it's a good thing we took some of that out there on Micron. And like I said before, everyone, please manage your positions. We still have a third on of this name. We talked about that. Right now, if we lose, it will be 35-cent hit plus slippage, as here we go right back up into $10 again. We noticed that this name was relatively strong, I thought, as opposed to what Nvidia was doing. I don't know if you had a chance. You're still in.
Look, Nvidia's at 22. What? Mara came back into that 17.5 support level. So a bunch happened. Obviously, I'm into ARM, I'm into SAVA. We explained those. And then I think Intel we already went over. But Mara came right back into that 17.5 and kind of double tapped the bottom. I got 1s and 2s long. So my average price is actually like 51 1/3 right now, or 2/3, I should say, so it rounds up to 52. VWAP sits at 1770. I'm going to be getting out in, well, not all of it, but I'm going to be getting some out in front of VWAP for obvious reasons. Look at the resistance in the afternoon. We're trading it all afternoon. It was 1750 to 1770. All afternoon. So if it bounces off that level or rejects that level, I want to make sure we're taking profit in front of it. As a matter of fact, I just saw sellers at 66, so I'm going to join that. ARM, we got that fill back underneath VWAP, at VWAP on the way back down. Now 149, I want the next take because that's where we closed. So just like Mara, the range from yesterday, the 150 half, it kind of rejected that high. We'll play it into the bottom, try to hold through for a bigger break. The one that's going to be a concern is obviously SAVA, because Cassava Sciences, there you go, just took out the high. So the initial move down, which is the one we probably should have had, would have worked, but the one back in, VWAP out at high of the day, so we'll take that one for the L. The other three still holding out okay, and Nvidia, yeah, that might have been a miss. Yeah. It now does double tap here at 122 and is coming back into the upside. That wick is annoying. I'll get rid of that dark pool 129 wick, kind of messing things up. Tesla's back to 257 as well, so Tesla starting to come back in here. I've got this local bottom at 256.5. that we're trying to buy into at that 57 level. From there, it's got quite the gap fill to the close, which is at 54. So to me, like, this is a 57 into 56 half, because I'm not holding it to 254, because that's the next big level.
Yeah, we got stopped out of our Micron, which is no semis, no cry, because we got right back into this one and give you another one right here for Nvidia. So we did, look, we'll be up on Micron. Obviously, it's not the screamer that we thought it would be at the end of the day. We did warn a little bit that it seemed like it was strong, but there's a couple ins, a couple outs, relatively flat on Micron so far here today now off of that one. So we just went long Nvidia. We were long at 65. We just got out at O's right there at 120. I think it was 122.95s or so, yes. So there it was. It was a good out for us. Now we are long, back long now into Nvidia. Now a 50-cent winner on NVDA back into the long off of. And we just did it, man. We had 122.55 written there in the first place, and we took it. We canceled it when we were long Micron, short Micron. We just put it back in. So far, so good here as NVIDIA's trying to get higher. Let's see, man. We got to get something out at the 200, 123.60 if we're lucky enough to get that high. I'll put an offer there. It's still so early. Let's just wait to see what this market has in store for us today, guys.
Yeah, the market, it's still early. The Nasdaq just went red. The ES actually holding on to green a little bit. I'm kind of curious where the relative strength is. I mean, Apple's actually right back to where it was before. So I was about to say outside of Apple. Just another update here. Bit of a move back to the high here. What's the wick on this? There we go. Let me zoom way in on Intel. So I want to get VWAP in here. I was getting 23, then 24 removed from VWAP. It just tagged 36. But now taking a little bit of a zoom. If we're this weak, in the market holding to the downside, at least for now. I should be waiting for VWAP a little bit more patiently. The next time we get an opportunity, I think I'll try to trade off of that. Okay, ARM, it's a weird day.
Where do we think this market's going?
Okay, so Intel just tagged the top, and ARM just filled me again, 49.5 on the bid. And Apple, like this is what's going on with this market. And Apple's trending down toward the low.
Yeah, maybe it's not a long.
Yeah, it's weird because there's very few things that are actually strong right now. Mara just got to VWAP and reversed right back into the lows. It just doesn't feel very strong at all. I'm starting to think about where's the other places long. Like the only stock I'm looking at that has like multiple green candles is Intel right now. Everything else is looking a little bit weak. I want to double check in on Meta here. Yeah, Meta's starting to come back and lose it a little bit. So Mara's holding the low. Intel's trying to do its best. ARM is okay for weakness. And the old, so about SMCI, the thing about an SSR bounce, the way I look at it, is usually it's a failed break of an even dollar level. Well, there was no breakdown here on SMCI. It just ramped to the upside right away. It doesn't really set up the trade for me there, but congratulations, because 400 to 420 is not bad at all. Yeah, so the SSR bounce on SMCI was rather spectacular here.
All right, we have a new trade idea, so we'll sound the alarm. That's what we try to do. We're long Google right now at 163. Again, what did we do? So we went and we just have our searches, right? We have our quote board right here. I'll just go through some of the process that we do, or I do anyways, to find it. We sort by, strong names here. Google was near the top. I just sort of scanned it. There it is right now, 163 and change. I didn't want to look at, and Neil's already in Intel, Bob, but we talked about Coinbase. There's iBit as well as we look through. So I just clicked on Google. I went through all these. Google was breaking through the 200 period there. So I went long and bang right there on Google. So it's a nice win, man. It's 30 cents right there back in the... So that's a good one. We do have Nvidia as well. That's 40 cents in the money. Google's a nice trade. We just got to let these things develop a little bit. Sometimes we get out too early, as you know, and then we look back and say, what have we done? But we did a good trade here. So if Google can come back up into the high of the day, probably a good out. I'm more like in the camp now of like, we were always in the camp of being controlled in our trades. But for today, I said it right on here, we have to just do what we're doing. It could be a slow day, wait for trades to develop. So what that basically means is two things. The first thing is, and I didn't really follow it on Micron, we had the right play, and I should have just took it out when we talked about it trying to hold down here. We were lucky enough to get that dip buy opportunity, but at the same time, probably should just got it all out and waited for a reload instead of holding it all to the top end. So let's just do that right now on Google. We see that it's coming back up. I just put an offer right now at 49s. Maybe went to 46s. Hopefully we'll get that. Maybe 49 is being a little too conservative. But here we go. Break 46, get to 50, get 49. Let's take out some profit. Both these trades right now are in the money, 40 cents. So we're gonna adding up to $1, but Nvidia is the one that I think has the chance here. You're still in both those same positions. There's not much happening. The market is kind of just hovering right now.
Pretty big bounce overall on, like Apple just made a big bounce. You just went a little bit haywire there. So we're breaking through yesterday's highs on Intel. And if it can hold on to these highs, I think it can trend at 25 today. But if we lose the top, I want this 50 back out there. Mara made a bit of a reload as well, so I want to trail Intel, buy the next available dip into VWAP or wherever it lies. Double bottom here on Mara. The thing is, we're still at 65.5, so as much as we're going to the downside here, Bitcoin's actually holding on okay, but Mara did dip in, threatened to go red, held on to that support from the afternoon, but now it's struggling to get back into VWAP, so just bounced like 45 into 55, but it can't get to the 60s. There will not be another reload if it's looking this relatively weak. So Intel looking good. It's ARM that's weird because the market's bouncing. It's not moving that much. The way that everything is bouncing, I kind of feel like I should be jumping out of this. No reload for me on ARM. I do not like the way that this one is looking. It didn't fall into the lows when the market was weak. So if it doesn't feel right, then we're able to tighten this one up and see if we can't get out of it. So Intel's cruising right now. It's at the 60s. Now getting a little bit parabolic, this is where I start looking, okay, if it reverses trend, just get out. Right? Give any kind of trend reversal, and I'm just going to punch out of this thing as it just extended through yesterday's highs at about 48. I think this is on the way to $25. Hopefully it'll give us another entry on the way up.
Wow, Intel. Wow, Google right now. Let's go. Spin the cash for GOGs right there as it's going to the upside again and again and again as Google seems like it wants to be. It's the one right now. We'll just wait to see if it wants to go, though. Google right now, good take there at 40s. We talked about that. Getting in and out of that play seems to have been a good decision temporarily for GOGLE. All right, Nvidia. Not so much right there. I mean, look, I like the stock. I like the play. We did get some out there, though, on the high end. On the low end of 123. So we've gotten it out twice. Would love to see this thing moon. We're in the name. Hopefully, let's go. Let's get the party started right now on Nvidia. Nvidia right now, 60. Remember we just said this, Sharif? We were 40 cents in the money. Now we're 60 cents in the money on both of these trades. It's Google, it's Nvidia, it's Micron. And you know what that means? It's a 3 for 3 kind of a day right now. So we'll drop down some money and have a good one so far here today. It's Brendo at the big desk.
As we're talking about this late in the day yesterday, BlackBerry guys just popping up in front of me here. Downside in a pretty big way, 6+%. I mean, hey, Q2 revenues, 145 million. Not even sure what they're selling, but 141.4 million was the estimate. So 145 versus 141.4.
Used phones.
Oh, come on. You know,
there's a big market for that on Marketplace.
Yeah, you know, they still have
you can get a BlackBerry over there.
Stuff. Well, they don't have any patents left to sell, I suppose. Like, it is what it is, man. Like, it's not even it's not even like a meme stock anymore, so you can't even go down that path with BlackBerry. So, like, right back to VWAP on Mara, and you're seeing, again, the same range, 50, 65, 50, 65. If we retest the lows and the market's looking better than this, then I'm not going to jump into it another time. As I mentioned, Intel did make a little bit of a, come on, chart, there we go. Did make a little bit of a topping tail candle, as you can see. So just kind of failed this 246, now coming back in. I'm going to look for a VWAP dip buy in around the quarter level. So it broke out pre-market highs in there. Not the third, the quarter. We'll look for a pullback in Intel and just get back on schedule. So it did make the break the quarters all the way up to 60s, now coming back in. ARM did not take out that top, so whatever is going on here seems to be slowing down at VWAP. So we're still in the money, about 50 pennies on this. It's head toward the low of the day. I'm looking for the bottom. 149 is the current low. So we'll see if we can't get a buck on this. It's been a bit of an inside day. And the market's strong enough that I don't necessarily think we should be expecting a break of the low. So I'm not going to look for that low break. Apple, sorry to ignore Apple. Apple double top at 229.5. This is a breakout for me on Apple. 229.5 is in the random level all week long, last week.
Yeah, no, this is what I'm saying. We talked about this earlier, man. Get on the sticky note right now. Watch for key levels, man. It's another chicken dinner winner. We're around 90 cents in the money on Google and took a piece out. We're 40 cents in the money right now on Nvidia on that dip buy opportunity. Again, this is the one that we are most nervous about. NVDA. I'm going to wait for 122 flat now to come in. We are now out of 80% of this trade. All right, you can see right there the Benzinga Pro platform. Make sure that you guys check this one out. If you are tired of being late to trade, always playing catch up in the market, missing out on big move because you're too slow to the news, well, the Benzinga Pro platform is your unfair advantage. Get breaking news alerts up to 30 minutes before everybody else. Pinpoint exactly why stocks are moving and join the thriving community of traders who share their strategies in real time. Ready to see how Benzinga Pro can transform your trading? Well, then visit benzinga.com/pro and grab that FREE 14-day trial. The QR code's right there. Go grab that link in description. It's Sweater Nation today as we get ready to rock and roll. Nvidia does make that move to the downside.
I wish I was in a sweater.
It's 80 cents in. It's okay, Neil. Yeah, you were with a sweater yesterday, I think it was.
It's freaking cold.
Brendan started the trend with the sweaters, so thank you, Brendan, for that one. But there it goes, man. Google with a nice move upside at the end of the day. Let's go see. It's a new position for your boy over here, and I'm not so sure about it. So let's have a quick look. I don't like sometimes sitting there and getting filled out of the blue, but if I don't like that, then why am I putting bids in, right? All right, so let's wait to see if it holds $40. Very, very simple trade for us. There's the $40 break. There's the 200 period. Either support it or die, my guy. So we're going to wait to see what happens with DraftKings. If it breaks down below that, then we gone like Donkey Kong. So right here, $40. I don't know, Donkey Kong. I mean, that's a pretty good game. I like Diddy Kong. This little, is it his son or his friend? I don't know what it is.
I have
right
no
there,
idea.
But okay. All right, here we go, man. Nice move back up to the upside here. We'll get something out at the shelf break of 40s and change, but right now it is DraftKings, and it's another winner right there. We just sat there and said, for that one. It's only a winner if you get something out, and 10 cents is not super excited for me, but SMCI going, I'm hearing.
SMCI has been an absolute rocket ship, so the recovery pattern on this one is continuing. It's about to make a fresh high in here. I didn't even get dip buys on Intel there. Didn't even get to VWAP. But look, high of the day breakout on SMCI, $5 to the upside, $5. No, it's up $20 from the open. So that one is absolutely going. You're getting a nice relief rally. Well, we're back to green on the Nasdaq. So it's bouncing. The Nasdaq's back to green. But I'm looking VWAP here on Intel still. We're still in Mara, but that's the last little bit. I feel like it's Apple that's going to, it's either VWAP on Intel, which is coming in, or Apple taking out this top. I like Apple. I feel like we should be buying dips on this instead of just only looking for the breakout. It's such, like, how clean is 228 here? Resistance all afternoon and clearly support in here today. And I'm only looking breakout. That's kind of silly. If it's a Friday and we have an inside day on a Friday, then you should buy the dip of a stock that you like the buys on. Like, I even have the nice little line drawn in there for support, so I should be sitting there on the bid for them. All right, we're at VWAP now on Intel. So this one, I'd like to see it bounce off this level, but it's still heading down pretty heavily. So let's let it get to the other side of the trade here. I don't want to just sit on the bid if this blows through VWAP. I want it to show me a bounce and then participate.
Yeah, great out up there, man. You always, I mean, if you can ever top tick, that is...
it's an Obi thing.
That's some elite stuff, right?
Because Obi's the revision man, and I've been looking at it because it was one day where we looked at the same revision on Shopify, and then since then I'm like, well, if I'm looking to trail out, because I stink at trailing out of stocks, why shouldn't I just lose those trend line reversions to get out of the stock? It makes perfect sense. If you were going to go short off those, then why wouldn't you get out of a long?
Hey, reversion man.
That's what did I say?
Revision, like he's making revisions to the.
Yeah.
Maybe the same thing.
I didn't make a lot of...
It might even be the same word.
I didn't make a lot of revisions in university.
That's what I was going to say.
I tend to be like, you make me write something, I'm writing it one time, bro.
I'm trying to pretend like I know what that means, and I don't even know what it means. So, all righty then.
Proofread?
Proofread.
You used to proofread, Fabian?
I ain't
proofreading-ish.
ChatGPT, this guy over there.
Like, if I couldn't do it right the first time, like, I don't know, that was bad.
All right. All good on this. All right, so right now we'll wait for Nvidia. We said this would be the name that could potentially be in trouble here. I'm going to buy a little bit more because this is going to be a reload spot. I just want to see if we can do the same dance again right here.
Hope my daughter's not listening.
Futures are trying to do that. She's not. Futures are trying to buy this level right here. Futures are trying to hold this level down here on VWAP. Let's just see if Nvidia wants to do the same thing. We definitely understand that this is down 1%. The problem is, we said it earlier, Neil was like, I don't know if it gets down to 122. I was like, I'm not sure either. But right now it is coming back in. So we have to watch out to see if that level will hold. That was the one that we wanted to take. So let's be patient. Let's try to get it right now. What's up, Marshall? I mean, if being a savage is a good thing, then I am a savage right there. Look at DraftKings right now. Oh, yeah. Come on, my guy, Patrick. Hopefully Patrick's on this one as well. Look at this. A nice little 40 dip buy. We've had DraftKings on our sticky note all week down there at $40. So it's a small move. Just a quarter. We'll take some out there at $40.25 right now. There he is. Yeah, Patrick's is watching the Mara going on right now. So nice little move upside right there. If we can get the VWAP, great. Not really in love with this trade other than the fact that look what the market's doing. Market is pulling back in.
Of course, I just covered the only short.
Right, yeah, see? So that's the thing. Market's pulling back in and DraftKings holding out higher. I like that recipe for potential success there on MARA, on DraftKings there. Big Patty Eyes got me thinking Mara now. I just call him out now. I can't stop thinking about it. All right, there. 164. Google, $1 right now. Trying to go. We're $1 in on this one. That's going to be a good trade for us. And then Nvidia, we said we were slowing down the buying. We have done that, man. We have like 5% of our usual position now on Nvidia. We're going to wait and be patient as possible into 122. Here comes 122 a little quicker than we thought on Nvidia. So let's wait. Maybe we'll buy some a little bit earlier than that, but I have a bigger order closer to 122. Let's see if we get something in the 30s or so.
So I just took ARM out at 149 and immediately it went to 148.5 in the low of the day. It was bouncing. I'm not making it up. It was bouncing off a higher low. The market was bouncing. Intel started to bounce. I'm like, okay, I should get out of ARM. It's not breaking the low. We're gonna we have an inside morning. It's gonna hold the range. Like this was the bounce on Intel off of VWAP. Went all the way to 2450 on Intel from the 30s. I'm in here at 41 on the way back up. So if we lose this bid, I'm gonna jump out. The market's back to the Nasdaq's back to red. So there hasn't even been a green candle. The dip buys on some stocks have been working out, or the strong stocks at least. But yeah, if you have something trending down, respect it. If you have something trending up, respect it. And if it's in between, maybe stay away from it. So Intel currently trending up. We'll go for the reload there. That makes me a little bit concerned about Mara unless it can break back out VWAP. So bounce off here, do an upward trend. Don't just consolidate lower and then break the low. I shouldn't be reloading anything like that. I didn't get Nvidia at 122. We're going to go to Brendan for happening now. Yeah, because it didn't get there.
Right.
We are just waiting here for Michigan sentiment, guys. Consumer sentiment coming out at 10 o'clock. Again, this is the September reading. There is, keep in mind, an inflation reading or inflation forecast, a part of this number. So we'll get a 1-year and a 5-year inflation forecast as part of this number. So about 10 seconds ago, yeah, market downside overall to kick things off, negative 0.03 here for the Nasdaq ahead of this number. Again, the consumer part of this, it depends. If it comes out one way or the other, more than expected, it can move the market. But the overall number itself, I hear just, there it is, 70.1 on the reading itself, the final for September. 1-year inflation higher, looks like the 5-year long-term inflation number to the downside. So 1-year inflation number 2.7%. 5-year 3.1%, so both in line with expectations there on Michigan consumer sentiment. A few other things of note, big volume spike there for Xpeng out of the gate this morning at the open. Didn't see any reason for that or news headline, but still holding on to a 6% gain there for Xpeng. Some of the other EV names also pretty positive. Tesla still 1% to the upside here. Market now negative, but bouncing on that consumer sentiment print. Nvidia, we were talking about back downside, trying to test day lows right now. This was TNXP. A few people were mentioning this. There was a patent issued this morning for one of their drugs, but that was about it. There wasn't really anything else. This is a little penny stock, but TNXP ripping to the upside, day highs right now.
Okay, another good name there. We've talked about that. I think that was another Brian Shannon look, TNXP. But
It sounds like something.
Yeah, we'll double check it though. But right now we do have a nice little win here. DraftKings. So DraftKings gets VWAP again. So that was a 40 long. Again, we put that on the sticky note. Like that trade here. Let's see if it just continues to work. DraftKings, good long right now, back in the money. I mean, it's Google right now. That's really going to be, it is my #1 stock, obviously, as we bought that dip there on Google. And you can see what's happening right now to that name, as it is now $1.20 in the money. So we've got Nvidia. We bought some dips down into here again. We just offered 123. I'm surprised we never got filled there. I guess it didn't get there. We offered 122.98. It went to like 122.95 there. So we just barely missed that trade. Good trade though on Nvidia to the long, I would think. But what we think doesn't necessarily mean anything. We have to wait to see what the stock actually reacts to. So we'll give that a shot here on Nvidia now and give it up to 123. It's a level I think can hold if it gets up there. So we'll scalp a little bit out and then go from there. So Nvidia winner right now, Google monster winner, DraftKings monster winner. So far so good here in the open. I know we've had a couple of great trades on Intel. That top tick there, ARM was good.
The Chinese ADRs are going absolutely ham again. This is insane. Alibaba, because I'm on the offer of Intel in front of 45 or 55. High of the day is 65. So we're still back in that dip buy. Baba's up 3%, tagged 108.80. 108.80 it just tagged. And Neo, which I was not expecting was going to break 630 today, obviously, because I even said we're not going to get this till next week. Hey, I'm wrong. It's 9% up right now, and it's breaking out on the daily. I'm not usually in love with parabolic, let's take the high. So I'm going to give this a pretty tight stop because that just made that move in one shot in the first half an hour. And so the timing of getting a high break there is not usually ideal. Like, look at the entry. I just usually don't like those entries. If we break trend and pull back in, I think we'll just go for like VWAP dip buys. But if this loses this previous high, I just jump right out of it for a 5-cent hit. I don't like usually getting that kind of a fill. Let's go up to the desk with Brendo, and Apple's going to break too.
Brought to you by our friends over at Firefly Neurosciences. They're revolutionizing brain health by making their FDA-cleared brain network analytics, BNA technology, available to medical professionals in support of providing better outcomes for patients with brain health disorders and illnesses like depression, dementia, anxiety, concussions, and ADHD. The company's proprietary technology is built on extensive research in the world's largest standardized database of over 17,000 patients across 12 disorders, including clinically normal people. Join Firefly Neurosciences, traded on the Nasdaq, AIFF. Be a part of the transformation to improving the lives of people suffering from brain health illnesses and disorders. Firefly Neurosciences, igniting hope for patients.
Oh boy. Thank you, Brendo, for that. Thanks, Firefly, for their continuous sponsorship. So, all right, look at Google, guys. It's $1.50 right now in the money and still going higher. So I don't know. I mean, the market just had a huge move right back up to the upside. We were lucky enough, guys, to get out of that Nvidia up there at 123. We talked about that's where our offer would be. So we did that. And we're pretty happy with it. So that was a good out for us up there. We'll take a little bit more in. I was not going to reload this, remember, at this level, but because we got that 123 right there, we will put a couple more shares back on and just see if it wants to continue to work. If it just keeps doing this, fine by me. I mean, we do have a much bigger order, as patience will reign supreme for me today, as we will wait for this bid down here at 122 flattish to see if we can get that. So there, okay, here comes Nvidia. We do get that 20s fill. We talked about waiting for that one. Now we'll wait to see if we can get a little bit more down here and then let it fly from this point. So we're now long Nvidia 122.40. Feel a lot better about this one than I've loaded up right here. So let's give it a shot. It's Nvidia. It's trying to go. We'll be here to support it until it breaks 122. And when it does, man, we screaming out of that one. So if, I don't know. I'm just saying when it does, we get out.
Okay.
Hopefully it does not. We are now long and back into the money. As I see, Neil's not short anything, nor am I. So we'll wait, man.
I did have a short, and look, I still think I got out of it a little bit early, but at the moment, look, you have to play what you're looking at. Like I had a couple of chip names up when I was in that ARM short, and they're all bouncing in the same moment, and ARM was bouncing off a support level. So, I like to take things out if at reversal points, and it looked like it reversed. So Nvidia, that's better. It did finally is the wrong word, because be careful what you wish for. It did just bounce off 22, and looks like it might lose it on the way back in. It was about to get to 50s. I felt like it was about to hold, but we added on the way back upside there. So I have Magic Johnson to the long side, and we'll see if we can hold the 122. This is looking a little bit weak. NEO, it's an update on NEO. It's still trending higher. So I'm going to offer next in front of 650. The Chinese ADRs, like, they're the long right now. Like, it's so crazy, because that's been true all week. We're talking about it as like a record week for them. Like, this is Alibaba. Like, Alibaba's just trending to the upside over and over and over again. These things are absolutely flying. So the newest entry is the only one we just added to, and that's going to be Nvidia. That's the one I'm the most concerned about. And then Apple here. Apple is so close to breaking this 229.5. It's just wicked it again. So you got this like double top here, maybe triple, I guess, on a 3-minute here on Apple. It's just begging to break this 229.5 level. When it does, I'm going into the long. But I don't love the fact that this is trying to break out the highs, and Nvidia is threatening to break the lows, because that means it's relatively weak compared to the things I'm watching here. So here comes that bottom on Nvidia. Yep, the 122, it's trying, not very successfully, to hold just yet.
No, not yet. Okay, so we were able to get some more out of Nvidia. We told you that we were going to load up down here, so we're long now at 17s. I've just been getting some out every time it pops. Okay, here we go. It almost broke there, right? So we did not want to look. Hey, something you haven't said in a while. We did not want to look that trade in the mouth there, a gift horse in the mouth. So right now we are in the money, an amazing 10 cents. We'll wait to see if we can get, obviously, some more out here on the high side for NVDA. So we said we would be patient with it. I feel like we did that. I don't know if we're going to get rewarded, though, this time. Market trying to bounce, Neil. I just don't know if this is going to go. We'll take some out there. We just got 28s. So that was pretty good. I'm going to put another offer at 28. We do have a upsized position. We talked about that. We have the spot that we want, but if it breaks, it breaks. Right now, we're basically flat on the name on this position. Obviously, we're long at 13s. So let's wait to see if it goes. I think it's worth the 20 or 30 cents worth of risk down through 120. So We'll give it a shot. I mean, we're here to try to trade, right? So this is a level that we like. Let's see if it will support it. I mean, this is the big one for me here today. This will be my P&L number one. Google. Google right now at $1.30, $1.40 in the money, and still trying to go higher. DraftKings. We're out of 60% of DraftKings. That was a good fill for us. I was going to go 20, 40, 60. We should have got out more at VWAP. We'll have to learn our lesson on that one another day because we should be a little bit more diligent on getting out more at VWAP. I'm going to get another piece out here at 26s for Nvidia. And again, I'm just going to scalp this out. If it drops through 122, obviously it'll be an L. So let's take something out on the high side if we're able to do that for right now. Nvidia does not look like it wants to go. It's fighting the market.
Yeah, we're starting to look weak. Okay, so, Intel just came out through VWAP, so it's not alone. Like Intel, which was riding highs, now only up 1.7%, but it dip bought into VWAP once, got all the way to 24.55. That's a lower high. It needs to reestablish the bid here. If it can, I don't mind jumping back in, but a bit of a trend reversal obviously already happened once, and then the lower high. I'm going to need to see confirmation that we're going back into an upward trend on Intel before we get back into it. Mara just took out VWAP and is headed back to the upside. Bitcoin's holding on to 65, pressing 66. So I think now, look, dips into the afternoon resistance at 17.7, VWAP at 17.7. I want to join back in here on the higher lows as long as the trend holds. Nvidia just cannot seem to get past those 30s. So Nvidia holding on to 22s, but that's about it. I want to make sure we're getting fills out into 123. So if we break VWAP, we'll hold on to the last quarter. Neo's still doing the same thing it was before. Apple's getting really, really close for the break here. So Apple 229. It's actually, the high is actually 53. So technically it's a couple of pennies above 229 that it has to break out. But Apple clearly strong. I mean, the market's actually a little bit red here on the Nasdaq, and Apple's trying to take out these highs. So clearly relatively strong. I'm going to take that break if and when it does happen.
All right, I got some more. I mean, we're lucky enough to be long a little bit lower right now on Nvidia. So I just took another piece out there at 27. Let's just, like I keep saying, let's just wait to see what it wants to do. Hopefully it will want to go up. I have another offer in the 40s, and then we're going to stop on that play, okay? So we'll stop getting out now. At some point, you got to say, okay, maybe it's not scalping, and we'll just wait for it to go so we can have a little bit of a bigger winner. But right there, we take something out 36. I'm going to take another piece out 33 because we just failed again. So again, look at that. We get a 36 fill, which was great because I am chasing P&L here. I don't have a problem telling you that. I mean, we're long. We have a decent amount of shares, and it just went 30 cents in the money, 25 cents in the money. So we'll keep taking pieces out here as it scalps through. We saw what happened yesterday, man. We had a great trade. We were sort of second-guessing ourselves on Nvidia, trying to hold for the long. The long didn't come, and then it flushed. So right now I have about a little bit more than half of the position left, but we've done well getting out and just being a little too cautious. I understand that, but I think it's well worth it today. We said let's be patient and wait for trades to develop, right? And so we're trying to do that. Google, we still have 20%, so this one is going to be a big one here for those of you that are looking for this type of trade. Looks like Google wants to hold out right now. Upside, we bought it right here. Maybe if I zoom back out, it'll look a little bit more dramatic, but there's where we bought it right there on VWAP and on that take. So that was a pretty sweet move right now for that name. So we'll just continue to sit here and see if Google wants to make that move higher. Nvidia, though, as we can see, or maybe you can see, maybe not, is dropped back into 122 again. So watch out below here.
Yeah, Nvidia is right back into 122. I'm going to reload it there. But I just got out of Neo. Typical as it did a topping tail candle and reversed the trend since the last breakout. So this is it. Like right in here, there's a high break, low, 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 break, out. So I felt like I got into this one a little bit too hastily, but it ends up continuing its trend. The Chinese ADRs are super strong. So I got in at the 30 break. The best fill we got was actually 42, 650s resistance. I'll look for some kind of a dip buy here, but unfortunately, Nvidia just tagged underneath. It just lost. It just lost the 120 level. So I'm out as it just broke down there. The only thing we're left in is going to be Mara, which is okay because 66,000 just went on Bitcoin. But Nvidia is going in the other direction. And it's absolutely tanking. I hesitate to even look at where ARM is because I'll probably hate
my... Yeah, Nvidia just got hit there.
Yeah, I will absolutely hate myself for that one. That was I really screwed up on ARM. This was a huge mistake on ARM, obviously. At the moment, bias got the best of me. Like when I'm rushing out of this trade because I'm thinking things are longs. And I'm rushing out of this thing and it's falling apart underneath that 150 level. So I'm not going to buy the dip on this thing. But 145 is a bit of support. Clearly, the chip names want to go back into the downside. Intel's back at 2410. The only thing that's holding on to strength right now outside of the Chinese ADRs was Bitcoin. And now you're right back at VWAP on Mars. So this needs to hold on to VWAP. If we can't hold on to VWAP, I'll probably jam out of this as well. Yeah, I should have found some other thing to go short in. What's AMD doing? Is this available? I want to look for a chip name that's not at a ridiculous level that maybe you can short here. It's not going to be AMD.
Yeah, so we talked about that Nvidia. We actually got, again, because we were scalping, I mean, we had our spidey senses up from yesterday. We sort of talked about what that nervous sort of Nancy hands were there, what we kept on getting out right there. We took another load there and then got out once it broke. So that's actually wound up saving us there on Nvidia. We will not lose, 10 times what we should there on this play there today. So we'll wait for that one. All right, so now that the market's below VWAP here, I'm just going to start a position. The futures could start to make moves down. I mean, this is kind of the thing when we're sitting here and trading live in front of everybody every day. Sometimes you're going to have plays that will work immediately, and sometimes there's going to be plays that you're going to need to wait a little bit for. So for me on TQQ, I mean, another reload spot is almost right about here. We just take something now at 98. It's trying to break a little bit higher. I was waiting for an 06 fill. That just didn't come, just kind of randomly. That's sort of that top of that wick there. Looking to see about a break up here. So we'll take some more shares if the market can come back up, but there it goes. Nice little drip down now for the TQQ. So there it goes. Not a huge move by any stretch. We'll put something down there at the bottom if it wicks 80s again. Like, what did it do just there? But this is what you need to do. If you don't have your bids out, especially on something that's triple levered like the TQs, what can happen is the Nasdaq can quickly go down, 0.1. This thing would go down 0.3. So you got to have the bids out there to get filled. And my bad.
What the heck?
We did not. Right there. I'm hearing something about DJT in my ear.
Yeah, I've heard. See, the same thing too, and I just kind of figured, okay, well, I didn't quite catch the story. We're in the heat of the moment, obviously trading, but DJT's up 10% today.
Qs.
So it's absolutely flying. I didn't hear specifically what the news might be. I know there was an insider that sold. There was the holding company from the two apprentice guys. I forget their names. Those guys sold all their shares.
It's like a 3-letter.
They sold everything except for 100 shares. Sold 11 million shares. I don't know why they held 100, but I guess that selling being done maybe is causing it to go to the upside, but you're absolutely squeezing on DJT. I'm going to pay for locates. I know that doesn't make... I'm going to pay for locates because $16 is a level, and if it goes absolutely ham, I want to be ready in case it hits like 19 or 20. I did not pay for them this morning. I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. DJT... flying.
Yeah, good one there. We did have a nice move down on the TQs there again, man. We just got into the 70s. We are bidding 74, I thought. Yes, we are. Let's see if we do get a little dip down opportunity here. Oh, my God. Just got missed right there. Went to 75. Ooh, that would have been nice. All right, so, we're short this. We'll continue to watch it again. Where's the stop for this trade? I was thinking 30 break, so I put that in there right now. Breaking through, we would be then through the 50, through VWAP, and through the 200. So if that winds up happening, we don't have a problem admitting that this one is a foul trade if and when that happens. Why do we keep on bouncing exactly at those levels that I'm not waiting at? Or I'm going to put a 77 instead of a 74. Hopefully it comes back in and just keeps on bouncing off 75. It should really have nothing to do with anything. It's just my paranoid self right there waiting to see if we can get the penny and just miss it by a couple. That's kind of the problem for me there. So we'll wait to see. Again, reloading positions back up here, 73 change. We talked about that. We already have our trade in for this name. All right, Google. What? Oh, man, I put the wrong stop. It doesn't matter. We might have got stopped out anyways. I was going to wait for 164.20. It looks like we get, I don't know, I must have put 164.30s. We get 35. So that concludes that trade right there. That is $1.40 right there. So the bulls came in on Google. I mean, if anything, good one, up 1%. We said this is the next one to go. I still think it is. talking my own book there. As you guys know, I'm long Google. Let's see if it continues to work. It looks like we did get that 77 fill. So sometimes this guy's a little smarter than I look. So there's the fill rate there on that play. We do wind up getting that 77 fill. Now let's see if we can push a little bit lower. We still have like 80% of this trade. So we only have 2 out so far. Looking at the low of the day, I mean, we've decided to flip short. Again, the minute Nvidia broke, right? We sort of was wondering about the floodgates, and they appeared to be a little bit open now. We'll go bidding 72.65. That's that wick I just looked at right there at the bottom. Then if we break below then I wrote down here on the TQs, man, that we would look at 72, but that's that 20,200 level. So if that can come in, maybe we'll do that. 72.50, another hold level. So yeah, we'll still be in this short, taking out 20% so far. It's not a huge banger, but it's something. We'll put it in our pocket for now.
Yes, sir. And these trades, this segment of the show brought to you by Trade the Pool. And we got a great update. Now it's even easier to get funded. As you know, Trade the Pool built a unique program to evaluate stock traders like yourselves and provide you with the company's funds to trade with. Real shares, and you no longer need to worry about that PDT rule. But that's not all. I have some exciting news for you today. Trade the Pool has introduced a new tier with 20,000 in buying power, making it easier to pass the evaluation and speeding up the process of getting funded much faster. That's right. It is that simple, and it works. You don't want to miss this opportunity. Scan the QR code or click the link in the description for more information. Yeah. Shout out to Trade the Pool, there. And heading to the downside are the markets. I cannot believe we are already right back at $24 on Intel, but that's where we are. So it lost VWAP. This was like one of the last bastions of hope, and it's falling apart. Right quick is the best way to think about it. If we lose this, I mean, I'm probably wanting to already short it back into VWAP, but we're not in any longs. The one I liked short is gone, and in a big way. So I probably have to wait for a bounce. There's not even, I got out and there's like 7 or 8 red candles in a row on ARM. Like, you can't even get a worse exit point if you even try to. I challenge anybody. The only thing that's holding on to some strength right now, Alibaba's at the high of the day.
Boom.
So the Chinese ADRs are undefeated. I got out of Neil's now breaking through 650. It's up 13%. It's the Chinese ADRs that are going up. And clearly that's the trend that we want to be into there. So Jay Lee just said, I'll be honest, I thought you'd get into the Intel short off the top. You know what? So I got out because it did the mean reversion trend reversal and then bought the dip. But yeah, you're right. It was a trend reversal here, and now you've got a clear opportunity for a short trade. I'll probably get in at VWAP, but it is what it is. You know, I have half the stocks are green for me and half the stocks are red, and the one that should have been the biggest isn't because I got out of it way too early on ARM. Like, that was you never want to rush out of the trade when it's working, but at the moment the market felt a little bit strong, so you got to do what you got to do. The Chinese ADRs, I feel like that's the trend to work to the long side. I want to short back into VWAP on Intel because that's breaking down as far as I'm concerned, but there is Apple at least. Apple's holding VWAP, and it still has the high of the day break. Market at the lows. This is still holding trend to the upside. So this one I'm not giving up on. I feel like, Apple's still looking pretty good for that long. Just needs to bust the top or maybe give me a VWAP entry. Let's do the small cap recap with Brendo.
A little recap.
Brenda, a wild week for small caps, to say the least. High short percentage, low float names popping up again this morning. This one included CNEY. Just went through $1, trying to hold above $1 right now. This got a non-compliance notification earlier this month from the Nasdaq, trying to get back above and stay above that $1 mark. Duo, we were talking about this one with Luis from Barcelona, if you were with us yesterday morning. 2 days in a row, back upside here, trying to bounce off that 130 where we topped out yesterday for DUO, ONCO. Better part of 85% at the highs. We're back downside through $6 was that key level from yesterday. 2 or 3 days in a row here for this runner as well, guys, ONCO.
Okay, so just right here, I have no idea. I don't even know that topic. Okay, so just quickly, man, we got out of half, or more than half. We just reloaded it right there of our friend, the TQQ. I mean, it goes right into that level, guys. We talked about bidding 64s, we got it, or 65s, we got that level. The low looks to be 60. And again, we talked about where did we find that from. There it is, into the low, into yesterday, into this level where it was supported, into the low rate here as well. So good little level there. I mean, I would have thought maybe we could have gone to 50s, but we will take that fill 10 times out of 10 right there. And again, shout out to my good friend Phil, who I haven't seen much this year. He's a hockey dad, so we'll be running into each other, I'm sure, very, very soon. All right, so we are now reloaded on TQQ. So there it goes, man. We got that fill there at 73. Now it's trying to push down a little bit. Let's just start to take some out, man. We're a dime now in the money. There it is. We'll take some 88s. We're also bidding some 86s. So far, so good. I appreciate you, Crispy, or whatever in the chat said, thought I was over trading. Nah, man, this is like, this is very, very controlled trading. Trust me. We have our plays. We know what we're doing. We know who we are. We're very, very comfortable with absolutely everything that we're doing. More fun trades to come, trust me, on that one. But right now, we're just calm down. We're in these positions. We're setting out our stop orders to hopefully get filled. And when they do, then we celebrate. We did have a good fill there on Google at the time. But look where it is now. Google now $2 in the money from that trade that we did have. We got out obviously a little bit too early there. As you can see, this name continues to rock and roll higher. It's GOOGLE. DraftKings, we still have 40% left. I do not want to overtrade this one, but we're right at this level again. So guess what? I think it's a buy zone. Let's just step in here, buy. Okay, well, we just crossed the market there, got a couple half prints in there and bought some more. DraftKings, our stop on this one is very, very simple. It is breaking of $40. So if that happens, good on DraftKings, not good on us. There it comes down in. Now another trade for the TQQs. Let's put another bid here at 82 and just slap this one around a bit here. There it is. Yes, sir. We get an 82 and an 81, man. We're still him. We found out what we do best, man. Maybe it's trading the futures. We've got crypto now. We've got options now. We've got futures back in the building. And I'm just scalping them out. So this is not big futures holding by any stretch of the imagination. Here it comes up 10:30. I don't know if we have any. Oh, it's natural gas numbers coming at 10:30. So we could watch out for that. But more outs there. We just talked about getting double outs. Now let's wait to see if it comes back up. Still trying to respect that level up here on the VWAP. So we'll wait out for the TQs, see if something special can happen here.
What's crazy about this is you're on the Qs. This is important to show right now. Like, look, the SPY is green and breaking out while the Qs are heading back down. Like, this is, you got a bit of a diversion here, guys. So break of the high of the day on ES. It is Friday today.
I said to my wife today, I was like,
true. Like,
I was watching Thursday Night Football, and like I was even like, oh man, tomorrow's like Thursday. I was talking about like, do the kids have practice or this and that? And yeah, today's Friday, man. Oh, see,
Friday, son.
Yeah, thank you for that. No, but what I was gonna say also is that it was supposed to be shawarma party day, and Randy's off.
This is exactly why I've said this time. Randy, we know Randy's going to take off Fridays. We just need to do the shawarma party on a Thursday because Randy's never here on Fridays. I shouldn't say that. Every now and then he will show up. But like the ES is breaking up, the NQ is breaking down. So understand that when you're looking at the future, Sean's on the Qs. The ES is taking out the highs right now. So it's a very big dive. It's not a big diversion, but it is a diversion from what we normally see. Okay, so Apple, I adjusted to, I still like the breakup, but we're going to go dip buying off VWAP as well because it's relatively strong. So 229, you got VWAP at 228.80, and then we're going to get out in front of the high, look for a break of the high of the day as well. Oh my goodness, NEO, you just keep going. NEO now 660, the high of the day. It just continues its trend to said upside. I bet you Alibaba, is Alibaba going to get to $110 today?
Yes.
Is Wayne Brady going to have to... Yeah, I mean, is it going to get to... It's already at 109.5. Where's
another 4%?
Where in the heck? I got to zoom out the daily chart here. Like, is this even going to fill in? Yeah, this is now wild. So the next... Okay, you got 114 and then 120 on Alibaba. Wow, these Chinese ADRs. They're on one. There's just no question about it. They're the long today. If you're long right now, like, obviously hold on to it and like maybe observe the trend. But I'm out of a NEO because I thought I punched too high. It went from 6 to 630. I'm like, why am I punching this after just made a 5-point move in 20 minutes? And then it just still goes higher. Intel at the low, threatening to break 24. If it can't get to VWAP, then I just have to look for the consolidation where it is. So Apple's my only position right now. ARM is probably ARM's bouncing here, so maybe we will get a bit of a retracement to fade once again this stock.
All right, I'm just getting not super excited here or anything, but I'm going to put some more bids down. There we go. We get some 91s there on the TQs. I just wanted to say that we were waiting to scalp out a little bit more here on this play because I don't know if the futures are going to do anything right now. I'm completely happy holding what we have, but right now, just trying to get in and out here and scalp out and make sure that our profit stays where it needs to be in our pockets, not in the market's pockets. Right now. So we'll take another piece out right here. We're only short at 98. So this is, again, not an absolutely banger of a trade yet. We are going to try to get a little bit more here in the teens. We just missed it. If it comes back up, we want to get as close to VWAP as we can. Oh, no, we did get that fill. Oh, no, we did get it. Okay, what am I talking about? All right, so now we're short up here. That's good. All right, so we just did get that fill. That wasn't in the teens, though. We do have more shares in the teens in case that comes through. We just take that at the 50 period, which is 08. I do have another order at 14. So, all right, now you see things are trying to change up here. This is why, like, it's not about getting lucky, but it's like you got to have the right fills at the right time. And right now, it looks like the market wants to pull back just a little bit. So let's take some 7s here, some 8s if we can get it. We are short now at 9s. We'll take some 03s and 04s. And let's go, man. A little bit of a hot dog cannon here on the pullback in. And again, this is just the way I'm trading, right? It's scalp city for me right now. Up at this level. I'd love the opportunity for it to drop, which it's doing right now. There's another hot dog cannon. Neil, we're huge on this one right now. Oh boy, did we get reloaded on that futures trade. And there it is, man. The excitement is back in the building right now as it's a 30-cent winner on those Qs, man. We just short that top. And then I was getting out way too many shares, that's for sure. But there it comes back in right there as we plant the purple flowers. Bang, bang. Again, bang, bang. If you were with us yesterday, it's another one, and it's at the desk right now with Brendo.
Oh, that's what it was. I didn't hear you, Fabe.
Bitcoin, guys, worth noting right now, trying to break the highs. This is a 15-minute chart, but if you zoom in a little bit, nice move higher so far for BTC on decent amount of volume as well. We're through 66,000. That was the key sticking point over the past couple of days. IBIT, the ETF, obviously following suit, 7% to the upside here on the month now for IBIT. You missed it yesterday. SEC's Gensler saying that he has no opinion as of yet as far as Trump's crypto plans are concerned. Also reiterated his stance that, yep, Bitcoin is still not a security, if anyone was wondering.
Not wondering. No, I mean, these guys are, no, I mean, we're obviously wondering, but those guys are funny guys. I mean, you never know what's going to come through when we're talking crypto and legislation and all that. It's like back and forth. We had Kevin O'Leary come on here and tell us exactly that when he was in front of Congress. Oh, man, you want to talk about some politics? Let's make the short great again right now. So there it goes right now. We're going to the gates of hell. Bang! Monster trade right here, guys. This is now 20,340. That's where we're short. It's 50 handles now in the money, and we just put this trade on. So yeah, we are very, very happy with performance so far here today on this triple Qs. We are now out of like 2/3 of this position as it just fell right into 70s, man. We just got right back into the low of the day. We will take that, man. 10 times out of 10, 20 times out of 20, whatever the math you guys want to talk about, that's what we're taking right there numerous times over and over again if we're lucky enough to get that fill. So there it is, man. We take that out. We now only have we're out of 2/3. We don't have 2/3 left. We are out of 2/3 of this trade with 1/3 waiting in the wings now. 50 handles in the money on the Nasdaq. So good trade there, I think. Now let's just wait to see if we can get a little bit more in on the upside if it does come back into VWAP. But there it is right there, man. I mean, we went bang, bang. We'll do Barry Horowitz right now as well. Good trade there on the futures. Now let's just continue to watch out. And also, bang, bang, they shot the sheriff. But we're right now, like, basically apples in a barrel right now. DraftKings right there. We'll get a little bit more out as it's trying to come back up to the upside for DKNG. And you guys know that we're on that one. So far, so good here. DraftKings, let's see if it wants to sing back to the upside right now. DKNG, more outs, man. We just took 2 outs there at 35. Now let's see if we can get a little bit higher, long at 23 now. DraftKings.
So with the market breaking down, the first trend reversal on NEO, the second trend reversal on NEO just happened. The first one got me out of the long. This one's got me into the short. So double top, just broke 650, VWAP's at 630. 630 is going to be a long off VWAP for me because that's the level on the daily chart that broke out, and that's where we took the long from before. So if it gets back to 630, I'm looking long on NIO, but now we're in the trend reverse. Intel broke 24 twice during that move. First time, break was a fail break, but it came right back underneath. So it kind of wicked out and then jumped right back underneath the 24 level. I don't think you get a full retracement on Intel unless something crazy happens. Pre-market lows are at 75. So I want to make sure that I'm getting 2/3 out in front of 75. And if it happens to break the 75s, worry about 23.30 a little bit later. So NEO, bit of a trend reverse. I want to double check to see if BABA is, BABA also did a bit of a pullback there. I think these will look good at VWAP, I think, the Chinese ADRs, because those are the relatively strong ones. I glanced over to see when we got Intel if ARM was available for a short, and this was the candle that was staring me in the face. It basically tanked $2 in one shot. So once again, this stock is bleed. I don't know why ARM was so relatively weak. It just was the 150 level was technical. I think it's got some room to continue down. And Nvidia is going to tag 120. I think is pretty much inevitable here. The trend is clean to the downside now on NVDA. I feel like we shouldn't be letting it get to that without looking for some more shorts. Lots of room to get to $120, which is the next support level. Next available pop on ARM, next available pop on NVIDIA. I do want to be joining the short party there. So we're into a short on NEO. That's the one I think I'd be the most concerned about because the Chinese ADR is doing an upward trend. But we got that trend break to the downside. Fresh high, I'm out. VWAP, I'm out. VWAP, I want to be long this, or maybe even Alibaba at VWAP. Whichever one gets there first is the one I want to be long, if they can even get there. That's the thing, if.
Yeah. I was thinking about Intel. Wow, yeah, Nvidia is still going.
It's like unbelievable.
We might as well just hold on. I mean, bang, 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 bang. Fabian, we need to figure that one out. I'd love to get that. Even if we just get that McFoley one doing that would be great. I'll get it for you. Good. Thank you, Fabian. I will not try to put more work on Fabian. This guy's over there doing everything, and I'm like, get me that McFoley thing. Okay, so there it goes, man. Nvidia dropping lower, but guess what? Bang, bang. One more time there for the Nasdaq, and there it goes right now. I don't know if you guys are happy with 100 handles or not, but there it goes right now, man. We have short at 20,340s. We just touched down to 20,270 right now. There goes Bitcoin to the high of the day. We take another piece out. So right now we have about 10% left on the TQs. It is by far, obviously, my number one stock there today with BTC, with TQQs right there. DraftKings, we got out of more than we thought there, back at 36. We actually take another fill at 34 there. If this drops in, we're going to get out of that at $40 if it does go, but we're playing with house money. That one's all good, baby, baby. It was all a dream until it broke 110 on Micron, and look what it's doing right now, back down into 108 right there. Nice move downside for Micron. Did we have it? Yes, we did. But do we still have it? No, we don't. So there it is, a nice move to the downside now. This is joining its friend, Nvidia, which may be a little sleepy time for a little while now as it tries to go back in through 120. Let it rest and see what winds up happening now with Nvidia. Man, oh man, what a difference a day makes. Today, we are doing quite well. And part of the reason for that, of course, is we had left Nvidia alone. It started to drip down, and we were just like, let's get out, man. Bad read. I'm fine with that. We are now out of NVDA. Satya, let me know what you need over there. Oh, the tape? Right there. You see on this? No? Oh, your tape.
Ooh, Vermeen's got her own special tape. Uh-oh.
All I try to do is help around here. You know what I mean? And
Fabian knows
special
what's up.
mic tape. There we go.
What, there's special mic? I didn't even know that exists. But it's good to know. Look, I just saw when the futures made that bottom, what is in tech that's not making a low right now? And that could be Dell again. Remember Dell yesterday had that big, massive rally? Well, Dell, like pretty much everything else, failed off of the open. Right where this thing turned at the middle of the day on that SMCI curl, now the double bottom on Dell. So double barrel, 121.75 in here. It's making higher lows already. If the market's going to bounce, I mean, obviously, like Apple's trying to reclaim VWAP, so I do like some Apple back again, but certainly Dell breaking out here. 123.30, it looks like to me, but you're already making higher lows. I do like Dell. We're going to try and get into this one if we can. Also, Apple, I think it can reclaim VWAP in here. That's where I was along the one time. Got one profit take, and then it broke out. So overall, pretty much a nothing, but it's still above the higher lows. You're not really testing the bottom in here. The ES is already relatively strong. I feel like it's the chips that are bleeding and not necessarily everything else. So I want to see if we can get back above VWAP there. Nvidia might just already be bouncing off 120. 120.36 might be close enough. Like it might have already made this bottom, so we'll have to be a little bit patient with it. We're able to get a couple of legs out there on Intel, just the two positions I'm in, and now it's trying to break back out. If we break that 5 again, I'm waiting for VWAP, which is a good 1% away. I'm not going to hold it that 1% against me, but we are going to get out and then wait for VWAP. Still feel like Mara might be worth it because Bitcoin is still relatively strong. It's above VWAP as well. It did eventually hold on to it, never retraced back to 17, the 50s that we had before. So we'll look for some higher lows on MARA to get back into the trend. Still slightly trending up is Mara, along with most of the crypto names. They're looking pretty strong still.
Forget what?
What did we forget?
Forget to like and subscribe and hit the bell icon so you don't miss a single notification.
Right. I really think we should get Fabian's mic on the air. I think
yes, let's just do that.
We all. Oh, that was on the air.
Oh, everybody hears that?
Okay.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I don't need to repeat it. You got to let us know these. You guys let us know. Ramin, enough. Ramin is always. No, because she always has these ideas. I love the ideas.
Team Ramin.
I want Ramin on the mic.
I got your back, Ramin. Ramin gives me chocolate and candy at every opportunity.
Literally
and I say how incredibly nice she is. Ramin is the best.
All right, it's me and Sharif that have the love-hate relationship with Ramin, of course.
What?
Yeah, it is hate. I mean, she does threaten to scratch up people's cars, so we got to watch out for that one. You're lucky because you don't drive. So, all right, here we go. All right, we are still short.
I literally can't drive right now.
Yep. Is that well? You don't drive even when you.
I don't drive in any.
You don't drive anyways. All right, so we are long the DraftKings again. It just came into 40, so we'll just take that bid right here. Now this is going to be worth 13 cents. On this name, so we'll see if that happens. All right, because Nvidia started to bounce, we did get a piece out at 80 there. So now we have less than 10% left of this trade on the TQQ. So hopefully that will come into play there. 73 and change now bouncing off of that. We've already got our trade on there. I'm not even going to reload this name. The market could have found its bottom. We've seen that happen many, many times where we sort of bottomed out midday. It's not midday, but sort of midday through the morning there, mid-session, and now a little bit of a rally back. We've already made. The best part about it is like we'll make so much more on TQs, just doing this and being patient with it than we are scalping. So it's like we scalped out a lot right there, but this fill was good. These holds were pretty good. So right now, I'm pretty cool with it. Just let it sort of settle down a little bit and try to go. The big trade today, obviously, as we talk about being profitable, is Google. I mean, look at Google. It's stupid that I don't still have this long, but what am I supposed to do? I mean, it goes up there. We take some out at the pre-market highs there, which was 50 cents. We're happy with that. Then we take some out at 164. Then we take some out here when I put the wrong stop in, but I was still happy where we got out. And then the move is now upside on Google. Look, the whole portfolio is really happy, and I hope you guys are happy so far. It's been a banger of a day. Big profitable day. Not big profitable day, but profitable day here, battling back from yesterday, so that's nice. All right, it's now 10:40. Let's go see what's up with Brendo.
A bit of a mixed board, guys, for the overall market. We'll show you the S&P 500 here. A little bit of red coming through back once again in the chip group today. Nvidia, as we saw, downside. AVGO, Broadcom, AMD as well, also in negative territory to the tune of about 1%. There's Micron, 1.7 off their earnings this week. Enough green, however, in this group to offset that. Google helping out a little bit as well, 1.8% back higher. Microsoft was positive, back to basically flat at this point, but some of the big tech names struggling so far today, including Amazon, about 0.5%. There's Costco off their earnings report, as we said. Kind of a muted reaction, really, to Costco's report, still down 1% on the day. We saw a ton of weakness yesterday in the energy area of the overall market, back to the upside today. to the tune of 2% for both XOM and CVX. Oil kind of hanging out positive on the day, but nothing too significant, guys.
Yeah, well, Eli Lilly stands out on that one, down 2.5 points. I'll tell you that much. Matt Carnes in the chat, where is the top for Lee? Want out of these long calls? I mean, LOL. I mean, where the top is on some of these, who knows? Because I reversed, like there was a mean reversion trade. Where'd my, whatever. I had the trend line in there. That's why I got into it. I'm not going to bother redrawing it because it's now broken anyway, so it doesn't really matter. We went from long to short, and you don't short the Chinese ADRs. They're still all going higher. So as far as like Li Auto in particular, all I'm gonna do is pull up the daily chart. And when you look at these, like it's out in the middle of nowhere. Like you just broke the 200 period moving average, it's up another 5% today. Resistance, $30 on the daily. I mean, it's already through everything else other than that. So yeah, I mean, $30 down in here at 27. I suppose it went sideways for a little consolidation at $27. That's where it is now. So maybe it slows down here, but all I'd be talking about is it's slowing down because like these are all just like Baba's about to reclaim the high in probably like 3 or 4 minutes or so. As I said, Neo already broke that top in there. Like they're all looking incredibly strong, all these Chinese ADRs. Pinduo Duo is flying as well. Let me just get back over to Apple, which is attempting to get back. No. It was attempting to get back above VWAP. Now it might be losing its trend to the upside and rolling back over. So it's kind of made this higher low in here, but hate for it to immediately lose that trend line. I do want to go back over to Intel as well. So it did break the 05. Never really got any lower than 23.90 on that 24 even break. So it only went like 10 cents and then bounced. If it can't break out here to VWAP, then I should just be shorting it in the same level it is. I got to go over to ARM as well. This is the one I like to short. It's so far down here. Can't really bring myself to pull the trigger down here when the market's bouncing. The market seems like it's bouncing. I'd rather look for some of those longs to come back in, maybe on Dell or on Apple. It's 10:45, so this is not the time to rush into the trade. But if Apple can reclaim VWAP, Dell made a double bottom off of yesterday's lows and is starting to trend back into the upside here. So looking for this one to break 123 quarter. So we'll see if it happens here on Dell, but I can be patient with it.
All right, I have a new indicator. My guy over here, the professor. So the professor today comes in and we're sitting here and I told him this yesterday. I was like, and I said this to Brendan as well in the morning. We're just having a discussion. I was like, look, anytime one of these huge names gets beat up on what people think is bad news or there's some bad rhetoric about it or something like that, it just means we got to go long. Down to the bottom, we talked about Apple there. We talked about some other plays. And anyways, Meta, like if the Oculus was ever bad or the Quest 2, whatever it is, Quest 3, whatever, just go long, right? And so he sits back down and is like, man, did you see Google right here? Because when we sat earlier today, he's like, Gemini is done. It's the worst one. There's no way Google's going to survive. And he didn't say that, but you know, this is a bad look for Google. I mean, yeah, maybe up 1.67% right now into a negative market. So Google and Sundar Pichai says, thank you for your opinion there, Sharif, but we are getting upside. And I just tweeted this out too. We tweeted this out when we were first in it, and I just said, I guess we were out a little too early right there. I never thought $1.50 would have been too early, but nice move there for Google. All right. Oh, by the way, here, I found it. This is what we did yesterday. There it is. Bang, bang, again on DraftKings. Today is a day, ladies and gentlemen. We posted on here on our sticky note. Let's just go over that. Bang, bang. Again here, and we'll look at our sticky note from today. That's yesterday's little bull run. Still was a positive day yesterday. But look what we wrote down right there, Neil. DraftKings, $40 long right there. So we'll put some money in our pocket there on DraftKings today. A couple reloads there, a couple outs, a couple good trades on DKNG. But we got to do one thing before I throw it back to Neil. It's everybody's favorite segment. It is. All right, what's for lunch today on a Friday? I mean, we always get the same thing. It's always a salad, and then we get a different topper, whether or not it's tuna or egg salad.
I go for tuna salad today.
I would love to have tuna. Tuna every day, all day. I've already made that request.
The egg is...
yeah, I'm going to maybe back away from egg as well. All right, today's menu is okay. Looks like it was a popular choice last week. I had good responses on this last week. We'll see if it can be there today. It's a little different seasoning, but it is grilled teriyaki beef sirloin with glazed Bermuda onions. Bermuda onions, the best onions in the world.
Obviously.
Citrus seared black.
That doesn't make any sense.
Oh my gosh. Line
Let's
2
go.
is a banger. It is citrus seared black tiger shrimp. All
they get shrimp?
Yo, as soon as I hear that guy come through the door, man, I'm that man will not be having
How y'all get shrimp? That ain't
exactly
right,
some
man.
surf and turf.
Surf and
has
turf
been
to the
happening.
wind.
Maybe they're looking at the P&Ls.
You don't win.
Okay.
Man, salad's looking awfully bad today now.
Yep. Well, don't worry. I mean, those shrimps will be coming on top of the salad. Roasted sweet potato medallions and sweet baby peas. It's everybody's favorite segment. It's what's for lunch. And today, that's what's for lunch.
I like shrimp.
Right there. So there we go, man. All right. A good couple trades there on DraftKings as we get pretty much the majority of it out. We talked about getting the rest out. We have 5% left of the TQs. Hey, man, if we break VWAP, we gone. 73.20, we out of here. What a successful morning it's been. Hats off to you. Hats off to everybody. Hats off to Neil. Everybody that's been trading so far this morning. I hope it's been a good one, man. The good vibes continue over here. It's about to get even better as on the midday show. We've got Sharif. We've got Satya. It's going to be another banger for you coming through as we just rearrange stuff around here, man. We keep growing. We keep getting better and bigger. We've got the futures over here. We've got options. We've got crypto. We've got Sharif. What are you guys talking about? Market resources. And so obviously the number one on her list would be the sticky note. And then after that, we'll find out exactly what she's talking about. The best free resource, the Trader TV Live watch list, which you could get second only to the sticky note at Trader TV Sean and all over the place. Today, full with bangers. Hopefully you guys can check that out every single day. Tomorrow is, yes, Saturday.
It is, because today is Friday, as we were reminding ourselves today. Friday. Well, if you're into it, why not? But it does mean we have to wait a full 48 hours to trade again after today. We still have a whole day to trade. And look, I'm going to get to SMCI in a second, because a lot of people are like, oh, what's going on with SMCI? They're going to be splitting next week. That's not until
the 30th.
it's not till the 30th,
Monday
right?
night.
So it'll actually be Monday night. So you get to trade it one more day, and then on Tuesday is when you actually trade split adjusted. So Intel, I'm back in Intel here because it doesn't want to get the VWAP. To just get that out of the way, I did mention we get into this. Low of the day is 23.90, so I want to bid out in front of that. SMCI it's having a recovery moment, but it is what it is. 420 is a thing here. I'm not making it up. This is 420. There's now resistance at 420 on SMCI, so it's holding VWAP. Can't seem to hold a bid at or above the 420 level. Feel like if it does want to break out from here, I mean, it's not a tiny gap for it to fill. However, if we break this top, there was previous resistance at about 32. So if you're in SMCI and it breaks this top, previous resistance at 32 on the way downside yesterday, which was Thursday, I remind myself, this was also where it reopened pretty much on that halt down. So it reopened at about 33. So this 32, 33 area looks like the next level of resistance. I just reloaded the only short we're in, which was Intel. What else? Oh, yeah, ARM. ARM is a bucket of poo and probably going to break. No, man, his stock, it did the same. This is what pissed me off about ARM. Is 150 is exactly where this thing really dumped yesterday, and yet somehow, for some reason, not in the short on ARM. It gave you 150 as the obvious level. It failed to break out at the open, and now it's at 145. Like I said, we're back into Intel. I want to check Alibaba because I think we want VWAP here on the Chinese ADRs. So it's at 108.5, VWAP 70, 80 cents down. So I think, let this one come to us. You don't want to get way too far out of the pocket when it comes to the Chinese ADRs in the middle of the day. Like if you like VWAP, wait for VWAP because it might do absolutely nothing, and you want to make sure you get a good price if it's not going to move the way it was in the morning. So coming back in are the Chinese ADRs, at least the one I'm looking for, a VWAP dip buy on Alibaba.
Today is a PD day for teachers here in Toronto. And our kids are off. They're going to some place called Activate. Supposed to be really fun. And then they're also going to, my daughter's at a camp right now.
What is that?
Activate, it's like a, you have those trampoline parks and stuff like that?
Oh, yeah.
This is one that has like a bunch of things. It's like, they don't have trampolines there, I don't think, but it's video games. It's like different laser tag things and all that kind of stuff. So they're going to that, and then my daughter's at a hockey camp right now. So I just asked my wife there how it's going, and camp is going well. I think the camp was only like 9 to 12 or so, and then they're going after that. All right, so just as we go, man, there's only 7 minutes left. So again, thank you to everybody for watching today. The party's just getting started. We do have market resources. I honestly, not just because Satya is doing it or anything like that, I think this is one that's a very, very important lesson because you can't trade blind. You know, you need to be able to say, all right, what am I looking for? Where can I find it? Have things bookmarked and understand them, because a lot of the time, it's not just like, what is the resource? It's how can I use it? And what does it mean in relation to my strategy? And what does it mean for formulating ideas? I hope that was okay. Okay, there we go. You know, I mean, I've been doing this for a minute. Okay, so that's what we're doing right now. Thanks to everybody for watching and for joining us on that Midday show. Shout out to the new Midday crew right now. Okay, all right, so that's that. More trades, right? So I do like your Intel trade. I just wanted to say that I thought Intel could have also been, and I know you're short this name right now, I think it could also be near a bottom. I think you're realizing that as well. Maybe we're bouncing nearly off 24. Just a trade idea if the market goes back up to the upside. Intel's been really strong. We want to trade strong names. I still like the short. I just think that this 24 area could bounce off that. And these guys are getting super excited, which is great behind us. We like to hear that. Maybe there's fresh blood or something. 121 for Nvidia. So the reason why I look at Intel, the same reason I look at Micron and things like that, you want to trade names that are in play. And Intel's in play, Micron's in play, Nvidia, the whole chip space with SMCI. Bomb was dropped yesterday, and today some remnants of that happening in the market with Nvidia still down that 2.48%. So yeah, I mean, you know, honestly, like a good day trading here today. We'll have one mark on our record here, and that will be Nvidia. We did take an L on this stock today. 1 L today on that one. DraftKings, although it looks like it wants to break right now, we're playing with house money, man. We're almost out of everything. We talked about that. The big banger of the day for me, I'm just trying to wrap this all up here before we go, is Google.
Still got 5 minutes.
Obviously, oh yeah, we still got 5 minutes. Still, Google, we're out of it, but that was a pretty good trade for me there. Pretty happy with the results that we see there on GOOGLE for that one. And then Micron is a flat trade. We're up on it, but should be up more. It's one of those matcha trades again. Pretty upset that took that level out. And then the TQQs, man, let's put some respect on the short there for the futures. This is my number one. Despite the $3 move in Google, this is my number one play here today was TQs, because we got it once, twice, thrice right there on Google. So, hey, that's a wrap for me. We'll hold on to the TQs. We'll see if DraftKings wants to break through $40. And after that, it'll be a walk, a talk, and some more stuff into the midday show as we go. We'll join in if we have any comments and stuff like that about the market resources. But yeah, that's it for me. And you have two positions. We both have two positions.
Just a couple positions. I want to show something about Apple, because I think it might lose trend here. And this is exactly the time of day that it did pretty much the same move. So yesterday, obviously a bit of a different day with SMCI, but higher lows right into 11 o'clock. And then it broke trend to the downside. However, it wasn't done. But you leave the trend line in, it bounced, and then hit the top of the trend line, turn into reverse. So sometimes history likes to rhyme or repeat itself. So if it loses the trend, I want to look for it to hold support at 228. If it does so, I'm going to leave this trend line in there, and I'm going to hit save, because if I don't, then it goes away. So I'm going to leave this trend line in here, and if we lose it, bounce off 28, I would look for the out of any long off the low to be back at the top of that trend line, and then look for a reversal. It could be at VWAP, but you don't know, because it could be an hour from now that if it breaks down, it goes back in. So I'm still in Intel. Apple, I'm long off of this trend, at least for now. And the other thing, I know we keep going back over to this, but I mean, when the ES and the Nasdaq are, 0.2 up and 0.2 down, sometimes you got to look to what the big moves were. BABA's inching closer and closer into VWAP here, up 3 points today. Obviously, the Chinese ADRs have had a very good day. I like this VWAP. That's why I think it's going to be the next opportunity. If you look over at Pinduoduo, like this is at 35s. It's pulling already back into VWAP, so I feel like Bob is going to get there. And I don't want to forget about DJT, which is holding the highs at up 8%, up at about $15. I did pay for locates. It was a question. Somebody said, "What does it mean?" When I said we're paying for locates on it. So we don't always have free shorts. Like most stocks, like 99% of the stocks on the Nasdaq New York here at Real Trading. You can just go short them because we have borrows to be able to enter a short position on the equity. So free borrows. Every now and then there might be something that's hard to borrow. And we have to locate the shares and then you can go short in them. So sometimes we have to pay a fee. It's a very small percentage of symbols. DJT just happens to be one of them. So we have to pay for shorts on DJT. It was very, very cheap. So I did pay for them, but this is the level I'm looking at right here. Right now, 15.36 is the current high, and then the other one up at 16. If it breaks this top, 16 to me is the next resistance level, but it's double topping at a resistance spot here. So if I can see it fail a breakout, I would short it to VWAP. If it does just clean breakout, I'd wait till $16 to look for a short on DJT. But I feel like before that happens, we're going to get Bob at VWAP anyways.
It's kind of strange how there was that news of those guys selling it, but yet DJT kind of going the other way, going upside right now. I guess maybe with more traders selling their shares, less pressure on the next sell, right?
If Trump doesn't sell, he's like 56%.
Yeah.
Right. Those guys were 11.
Part of me is wondering why did those guys have so many shares? I'm wondering if that might have been
the story behind
Donald selling them.
So the crazy thing is, I forget the two apprentice guys' names. That's my bad. I don't really know them off by heart. It was two of the earlier apprentice
Jack and
dudes.
Jill, I think their names were.
I think maybe the first guy that won.
I saw the story yesterday.
But
no, I don't think
they're the ones that pitched the idea of the media company to Trump. So it was their idea. Obviously, they turned it in, and they sold 11 million shares. It's in the teens, so they made like $150 million between the two of them.
Man, so all you have to do is pitch an idea, and then you get 10 million shares of something. All right, so Trader TV Live is going to be going public
11 million.
very, very soon. I just have to make sure that we get this approved, and then you guys trading on the symbol TTVL right now, and you guys can grab
those guys did well.
Yeah, so I will take my whole pay in Trader. Wait a minute, we get paid in Trader TV Live shares. You guys want that? You guys want us to IPO?
Let's go. Man. No, we can SPAC it up.
Yeah, we'll go as a SPAC. Yeah, we'll go as a SPAC. Yeah, that's what. Then we'll
even worse.
And we'll talk about. I don't know if we'd be able to do the show and talk about our own stock. That seems like it might be a little bit of.
I think the regulators might not like that.
Or so. What regulators? All right. Yeah, we don't have to worry about that right now. Yeah. Okay, Kathy. We'll get your advice when necessary. Right there. I think she wants to help underwrite. So we could probably get that going. You know what I mean? And if someone's going to underwrite it, I mean, there's somebody sitting there with a bunch of cash that could definitely help support the stock price here
of
Trader TV Live. On that note, I may go in today and buy some Berkshire. I've been talking about that for a minute. Let's sell some win and grab some BRK. .B. Yeah, we could do a crypto coin. There's been lots of ideas, so trust me on that one. Hey, look, for Neil, for Ramin, for Fabian, for Brendo the man, for Sharif, who helped us out on the desk earlier, as he does every day. Now you get more of this guy. Let's go. Thank you so much, Neil. Thank you to everybody. Thank
resources,
you
baby.
And everybody, it's time to get your resource learning on. It's the Midday Show. We're back at 2 p.m. Salut.
Shrimp time.
What is up, beautiful people? Welcome to How to Trade, formerly known as that Midday Show. That is your